What is happening? And welcome to your Thursday Night Delight. I'm one of your hosts around here, Sean the Right Way. And joining me, as always, rocking the Twinsies boys hat, we've got Brent from Brent's Bricks.
It's really cold in my basement, but you know, that's a Last Jedi hat. Yeah, so
Burn it.
it's comfortable.
Burn it. Tonight we're going to be talking about all the leaks, the juicy leaks that we know so far. And we're going to recap our and the Girth gang's January 1st hauls. So come along for a ride because we are a couple of brickheads.
Dude, this feels like a throwback, man. It really is just, yeah, a couple of us.
It is a couple of brickheads coming to you live as live gets this Thursday, January.
You got real Tony the Tiger there for a second.
Thursday
on that Thursday. Great.
January 2nd, day after Lego release day. Happy New Year's Day, but mainly happy Lego release day. I've posted a few shorts of my adventures. It's tough for me to get to the Lego store. It's over an hour away. We host a party at our house, pretty big blowout, and just lots to do the next day. So I do what I can. And I will say, I kind of enjoy it, Brent. I'm not going to lie. I do miss going to the Lego store, and I'll do it again for the first, but it's kind of cool just seeing like, who's all buttoned up, who's got the ish out, who's being super lays, who has what, and what stores got what SKUs. You know, we talk about exclusivity, and sometimes, you know, it's like you kind of find it out on game day. You know, you're like, oh, the Ark is supposed to be here. No, they don't get it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of kind of a different take, and I don't know, man. I enjoy it. I make a sport out of it.
Hey, I miss it. I don't
get a delicious meal. It's like a halftime show, you know?
Yeah, no, I don't get to go in store as much as I used to. And, you know, I live an hour from my Lego store. So, you know, it's not as easy as a journey for me. And what's even worse is I don't even have a Target. So like my options are limited. But the one time Sean came to visit my hometown before Brick World one year, we got a couple decent snags at my Walmart. Like my Walmart doesn't
have a very decent Walmart, so I will say that.
My Walmart doesn't have glass. They don't have their Lego behind glass, surprisingly, actually, sort of. You know. It's
a 9 out of 10 automatically, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and they keep a pretty solid stock, you know. Shout out to the Chillicothe Walmart. But yeah, no, I really do love going to Lego store. My Lego store is a smaller Lego store. Sean has also been to it. But what's weird about the experience of going to my Lego store, Sean, is, you know, it's a smaller store, but it's in the outside part of this mall. You go to the inside part, and there's a Legoland Discovery Center, which also has a store, which is like bigger than the actual Lego store. And sometimes they might have old poly bags, or the regular Lego store was out of CMFs. You go in there and you find them at that one. I remember Sean was just so like, this is so weird that there's a Discovery Center like a 2-minute walk from the regular Lego store. So it's a different experience at my Lego store as well.
Yeah, no, it was one of the more wild things because we went, and what was it? They didn't have something.
I think we were hunting for Disney CMFs.
That's what it was.
Because you needed a Stitch or something.
That's right. We were hunting for Disney CMFs, and you literally walk 60 yards and they had
because I was like, I do this all. I'm pretty sure I was saying something like, I got, I do this all the time. Sometimes, dude, for GWPs, man. You remember when there was one of the Disney 100. There's two of them. I'm literally looking at them, but I don't know. They're at an angle. I can't tell which one. One of the Disney 100 GWPs. I was late on. And remember, I was super salty I think like it was like a whole thing. Uh,
The
I think like
Disney 100.
I think we had Cristo on for that stream or
It
whatever.
was
We
the
were looking.
small steamboat. That's right.
Yeah, and like I remember just looking at it, being like, "Man, I'm so salty because I never bought the set, and this could have been my opportunity."
Somebody in the Discord just rewatched. They replay gang that episode. I think like today or something.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Wow, what are the odds? Well, what's crazy though is like in a situation like that, you know, I go to my Lego store. They're a smaller store. I feel like they run through their GWPs pretty quickly. But I went over to the Discovery Center, like a 2-minute walk away in the same mall, and they still had a ton of GWPs. It's like no one even like thought to even check there. It was
Yeah.
crazy.
It's wild, that relationship and how they
I've tried to talk
Amy
them
says they
into.
flat out sell them, which is
They wouldn't for me because I was trying, because sometimes they'll just have a stack of
and they'll
GWPs.
sell them for like 20 or whatever.
No, like they're just like, no, it's for if you spend this much. And I'm like, oh,
She's
okay.
saying they sell them. Amy, what did they
I
what
think
did
you
they
just gotta have a
did they
the
sell
right
it, or you mean they
employee.
have it with purchase, or do they like flat out sell them on the side?
I've tried to buy straight up and they made me have to
Maybe it
make a
varies by
purchase.
location. Because here's the deal, right? Like I've always wondered, and I'm not picking on Harry Potter here, but I am a little bit.
Well, yeah.
Let's say those usually sell out. Whatever, a non super hot fire G dub. You know what I'm saying, Brent? Like a
Oh,
Lego
for
store might
sure.
have stacks of them left over.
Yeah.
Like, do they ship them back? Like, no, I know the answer to that because I think sometimes I've gotten bonus G dubs, but
Yeah.
no,
I
I do need
think
to say Harry Potter. Hold on a second. I
I
think
think
general catch all like Santa Workshop or something. You know, you can get those like in February. I already know that. I'm wondering, like, if God forbid there was like, 50 sabes left over for some
no, I don't think they would ever run out, because I think they would just keep giving them to the stores, because you hear these stories sometimes about like somebody being like, "Oh, my Lego store still had this GWP a week later," or something like that. I don't think they would, because that just gives incentive to the, you know, the Randy Lego Star Wars fan that goes in there. Oh, he missed out on the GWP. He's in there a week later, and you know he's looking at Lego Star Wars, and the employee's like, "Well, we actually still have like a bunch of these."
Yeah.
That's just going to give him incentive to be like, "Oh, okay, let me get a Girthy boy, let me get a barge, so I can get whatever you got." You know, so
That's true. Oh, that's true. Yeah, if they did have Luke Sabers, I guess somebody that
now
bought the
don't
barge a month
I
late.
I could maybe see, Sean, like some of the city ones maybe being like, okay, they have extra ones at some point. Maybe they donate them or something. They could like something like that. But
Yeah.
I would say any themed one, they probably just keep pushing them to whatever other Lego stores, because you know you never know.
All right, Brent. Well, we're gonna jump right in here. We may have some people drop in, we may not. We're keeping it loose tonight.
Dude, it's an old school episode. I had this thought earlier. This is crazy how like I was mentioning that old episode and somebody was talking about it in the Discord or whatever. And then earlier today, I was thinking, dude, it's been forever, especially the last couple of streams, like last handful of streams. Like we've had so many guests on. Shout out to everyone who's been coming on. But it's been forever since it's literally just been us, like how it started through the first, like, 170 episodes ago. So it's kind of it's kind of crazy to sit here and really just think about that though, Sean. Like, because like I was in a completely different house. Like I was just doing YouTube videos, and then started doing the podcast thing, and then just chipping it. Like to compare, like episode 4 to where we are right now, and like everything that's happened with like the conventions, all the different guests we've had on, all the classic moments. It's crazy. It's a little reflection on the past 170 episodes, like, because I guess it's easy to get lost in it when we all have all these awesome guests all the time. Plus with my work schedule, I haven't really even been here that much, so it's like wild to only have the OG original 2 that started it all. It's pretty wild, man.
Yeah, some of the OGs are interesting. I'd say just pick one, and even the ones that don't look like anything's going on, you'll find something in there, I'm sure.
Oh man, yeah.
Um,
It's like listening to an artist like old school mixtapes.
The same awesome guest. Yeah, no, there was, I will say this. There's going to be a new guest initiative this year. Brett and I have talked about it. We're going to be mindful. We're going to get some like sort of new blood in here. There's a lot that's changed since we started. And obviously we have like our core crew that comes on, regulars, semi-regulars, that kind of stuff.
Right.
It's not going to change, but I think there's some new channels with some guys and gals out there that seem pretty cool. And I think they'd have a good time with us. And truthfully, we haven't done a whole lot of invites, as far as like people we flat out don't know. Now, obviously, we've met people at Brick World and had them on, or the part of the Girth gang and had them on, but like,
right.
Talking about old school grinding, Brent getting in the DMs, being like, "Hey, I like your stuff."
Yeah,
TOT would be a fun ride. We definitely got to link up with those dudes.
Yeah,
everybody wants to see that. I think that would be tremendous. Shout out to those guys if they ever watch us. I replayed all the eps overtime while working. Highly recommend. Thanks, man. That's cool.
Dang, going back through the
I'm kind of revealing what we're doing here, Brent, but let's go ahead and welcome in the
Girth.
Oh yeah, why not? I gotta switch glasses for this.
Girth gang.
Can't see.
That's girthy.
Ostif's bricks.
So damn girthy.
I mean, can I say enough about that guy?
Gang.
Membo.
Shout out.
Girth.
I see it doesn't show me the members.
Let me do it. Just go ahead.
We got Fit Lego guy coming through.
Membo.
Floored, what's good, Floored?
Whoops.
Cooper, get cooped in the house.
Whoa. Oh no, technical diffs.
Playing a song real quick. It's all good. We got Slurpee. What up, Slurpee?
Girth gang.
Cool Han, what's good, Cool Han?
Member.
So damn girthy.
Lego Timmy.
Girth.
There's another member, right?
Yeah, I'll tell you what it is. He's the first comment heavyweight champion of the world.
Oh yeah.
Channel member.
Papa Rex 7567. Muttley, what's good, Muttley? Coming through.
Channel member.
Lightning Lord.
Girth gang.
I swear next time I'm gonna have my laptop open because.
Channel member.
So damn girthy.
What up, Riley?
You already know that.
Girth gang.
Channel member.
Timmy in the house, the other Timmy. Not first comment Timmy, but the other Timmy. What's good? What's good? Shreddy. Always good to see Shreddy. We back. Brick Enforcer. Happy New Year. First episode of the year.
Girth gang.
AJ Bits. I love AJ Bits. Emphasize the brick by brick. What up, brick by brick?
That's girthy.
That's girthy.
Damn girthy.
So damn girthy. Why is that?
CHF Studio with a different font.
Why,
How do you
the
do
font
that?
was throwing me off. What? Couldn't see that. What up, Rob Claxton? Mall's Vengeance. Go sub.
Well,
Go
he's
sub
locked
to
in
Mall.
for Brick
I gotta
World.
watch his video still. But he put out a video. What up, Macro?
The ledge. Macro.
Legend.
Another ledge in the building.
Absolute legend. Will Bricks. Wait a minute.
That's
Did he
girthy.
change it from Will Bricks Productions?
So damn girthy.
He's
All
doing
Z
it. He's
bricks.
diversified.
Girth gang.
What up, All Z Bricks?
Here we go.
Anna in the house.
Good to see you. Anna. Been a
Shout
minute.
out Anna.
Lego Team B.
Lego
Down
Team B
under
in the
love
house.
for you. Right back to you guys. Hope you guys are doing well. Happy New Year.
Never too old for Lego, ain't that a fact?
Girth.
Lee and Kelly, what up? What up?
I think
Brick
it's
Hive, did we
Lucky
shout out
Lane.
Hive yet?
Channel member Amy.
What up, Amy?
Girthy.
Amy just DM'd me
So damn girthy.
that one movie theater she was talking about. Torso Cracker, what's good?
Girth.
Ooh, we'll get to these in a second. We got a new Membo in the house.
Slap shot bricks. What's good?
Here he is, the legend himself, bearded brick.
Bearded brick man. Oh my god. One of my favorite recent moments in ACOB history there. With Tyler. Absolutely
member.
amazing. Anthony. Special shout out to Anthony.
Gabe in the building.
What up, Gabe?
That's girthy. So
So
damn
damn girthy. Camber Bricks. What up? What up?
girth.
Charlie
Channel member.
Bracebridge. Very special shout out to you, sir.
Okay. And one more for the road. Shout out to
Of
Mayo
course.
Hosco.
Always.
Hardest working man in the biz. He's got many videos up. You guys got to go check him out. He's a good friend. Mayo Hosco.
Did we shout out Hive? I think we did, right?
Did we get to? I pulled him up. Sorry, we didn't do the whole list. Hive is in the building as well.
He's reminding everybody to destroy that like button, which
I think we played it 3 or 4 times. Sorry, guys. You know the rules. If we didn't call you out on Girth Gang, heat or comment, and we'll shout you out throughout the broadcast.
Yeah, Hive's reminding everybody to smash that like button also, which we never really say.
We had a super and it's gone.
Is it?
Well, yeah, but I got it back here. It's a little weird. It should be no surprise, Brent. Take it away. Two bones.
Dude,
Ostif.
100. Special shout out to Ostif. But with the 185, dude, or sorry, 158 dyslexia kicking in there. Almost less than 150 days till Brick World. Well, till Monday, to the start of the week, and then 163 until it actually starts. That's crazy, man. I feel like just yesterday it was like in the mid 200s. So time's flying, man.
It's gonna be
time
nuts.
is flying.
Gonna be
Shout
nuts.
out to you, Ostif, always.
And he, of course, wants to remember a certain time.
I remember the time when Eddie went freako, when he grew up fast and Batman was his freako. Came out swinging, his saber longer than a light pole. I remember, yeah I do. His midi-chlorian shot right through.
Man, I'll tell you what, I really am like I view the music from a new light sometimes, because like when I'm when I'm listening on Replay Gang, when I'm at work or something, or like when I'm doing whatever, just because I'm usually have only been in like the first hour, especially with these longer streams that go to like 4, 5, 6 hours. There's like so much material there, so I'll just be listening along, and then every time a super comes on, I'm just like, yeah, get to listen to it through the headphones. I mean, I listen to it through the headphones here, but like I don't know,
It hits different when you.
It's like a dope ass version of a commercial. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like, you know, when a commercial comes on when you're listening to like the radio or a podcast or whatever, but it's like a funny commercial or a commercial with a cool song or whatever. It's kind of like that, except it's even cooler than that. But yeah.
All right, we got a 1-year anniversary, Brett.
Dang, Papa man, huge shout out to Papa Trip. Always in the comments, always hang. I believe Papa Trip came over was like a Tyler regular, and then came over and started watching our stuff. I think maybe, I don't know.
I feel like he's been around forever though. Huge shout out.
It's hard to keep track. I can't even keep track of my own life sometimes. Yeah, huge shout out. 1 year. Best year of our lives, best set of our lives in 24. So yeah, what does 25 have to offer or have in store for the Girth Gang? Man, what is going to top? What do you do you think? I mean, Sean, for you, I mean, the Barge obviously is your top set of last year for you personally. Kind of has to be.
The Deathy Boys. I mean, you know, we got them. The new thing.
Yeah, the Deathy Boys. What's going to come next? I mean,
dude, the Death Star. It's going to be good.
Well, for you personally, though, like on an island,
not even close. Like that's all I care about now. So we'll see.
So wait, so for you, if you had to pick 2, or if you had to rank them, like obviously the Death Star is going to be 1,000 pieces, or $1,000.
No,
you would really pick
the greatest, most important set of our lives. He's talking about 25. 25 is the Death Star. I mean, that's.
Oh no, I know. I was just asking you, like, if you literally had to pick one and not have the other, you would go Barge, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I was just making sure.
Oh,
but
sure.
no, yeah, we got to get something else going with the Deathy Boys. I don't know if that's the Barge Boys was so good though.
Death Daddies? I don't know. Well,
we got to figure that out.
Death Daddies, I'm not sure.
Barge Boys, yeah, I don't know about that.
let me workshop it, but he's requesting Barge Boys, and that's only appropriate.
Yeah, you got to hit it.
Papa Rex, thanks for 1 year, brother.
Jabba's got himself a sail barge filled with figs and laying looking hot with a sexy dig. We all need Girthy said to get us hype, barge boys get us right. I used a board and didn't have a barge, but now I got one with a Jabba that's large. You take that mother effer and you saw that pit. Now take a look at the loader I get. Barge boys, no other says better. Show me any set and bet. Barge boys is better. Barge boys all day, all night. Barge boys best setup of our lives. Yeah, all sets matter. Show me any set and bet. Barge boys is better. Barge boys. gotta show me any set. Fat barge boys, it's fat barge boys all day, all night. Barge boys, best set of our lives. Buff.
There it is. Lord. I wanted to play it out on that one. You know what I mean?
Dude, I'll tell you what, like, I don't even know what I was doing. I might have been at work or just like doing some like dishes or something. I was listening, catching up on an episode, and Lego Butt came on, man. Dude, the headphones.
Well, guess what? Read
It's
this
a banger. Oh, is this? Wow. This keeps happening
Speak
tonight.
of the butt.
This keeps happening tonight. Like somebody will say something, and then someone's like, "Oh, well, actually, what you just said is what's happening." Weird. Shout out to Anthony. Huge shout out.
11 months, dude.
Just shy of a year, man. Yeah, 11 months. Appreciate that, man. We love you too. Give me that butt. I
want to see that butt, not that Lego bed. I want to see that not that Lego bed. Looking good on that box art check. One more finger, boys need to inspect. Front's up, neither, but the back could be a wreck. Turning it around, and I mean no disrespect.
Look at the butt on that thing. There it is. And I mean, Brent, you guys, it was off camera, but Brent got up and was like dancing so hard to this that he fell down. Are you okay, Brent? He was really, going nuts to butt. You all right, man? He's muted. How appropriate, because wait till you see what
Sorry, I was hustling.
Brent, it's almost like
Is the next one clearance season?
No, but you're you're feeding into like everything so well tonight. Let's go ahead and take the next one.
Sorry, I'm out of breath. I was trying. Oh, Brent's mic. Yeah, I should have muted myself. I was setting a bunch of Lego sets next to the chair, and my headset was on the seat.
Lightning Lord 6 months.
Oh man, sorry. Yeah. Anyways, sorry, I'm out of breath. I was trying to hurry up so I can get back. Yeah, huge shout out to Lightning Lord. 6 months. Tech diffs, Brent's mic. I mean, hey, that's appropriate for my noise I was making. Sorry about that.
Remember that night when Brent's mic didn't work? Then he left us all like a bunch of effing jerks. He tried to get it working with 100 viewers lurking, killing loaders left and right. Oh, Brent, your mic was jerked. We're sorry that it did not work. Oh, Brent, your mic was jerked. We're sorry that it did not work. Never leave us in the stream again.
Wow, area. Oh wait, no, that's because it's the wrong mic. Hold on. Even though I was sitting there messing with my like stuff, and I was like, oh wait, that's the wrong mic. Didn't sound terrible. I was trying to get my other one to work, but it was.
No, there were times when you were worried about your mic, and we're all like, especially if like I'm
telling you,
texting him like it's fine, just go.
It was when the first laptop I had, I never had a problem with it until the day where it just mysteriously didn't turn back on. And then when I had to make the switch to a different laptop, it's like there's some kind of curse with this thing, because like everything was fine with it too. I got a mic and like everything was set up and perfectly fine. And then like it was like one thing after another. It was, I don't know. It's like, then it was like tech diffs that were actually like really happening, and then I had to send it off, and then they got sent back. Yeah, so it's still a whole thing. I need to get the geek. I need to call the Geek Squad and be like, fix me. What computer do I choose? Or something.
Nope. I mean, that is an option if they can't get it right. I mean, we're definitely under a year. We did buy it about. I didn't, we didn't take out the Geek Squad on it, but I was like, maybe you could just like be like, look, man, they're not taking care of me. I bought it from here. You guys got to figure it out. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll pull exceptions and stuff. All right, we do have. We'll get some songs out for everybody else, but we'll space them out a little bit. We'll go ahead and read these, and also Nasenheimer, thank you so much for 2 months. Oh, sick. I have one of these to share. And then Mac, thank you for 6 months. Incredible. 6 months. Here's Mac. 5 being a great year. You guys let me know what you'd like to hear. Whittaky, have a great 25. Right back at you, brother. Good to see you on the stream the other day. We're gonna hit Baru here in a little bit. And then Brick by Brick with the 5-piece. Thankful for you guys and the show. Thank you, sir. Check out Brick by Brick. Give him a sub-a-rooney. He does really chill builds. Really, really nice guy. Again, I always say that. Most importantly, great person. Check him out and let us know what super you want to hear. We are going to get into one of the main topics for the evening. Yeah. And we're going to go to our in-house, another in-house, a rising star, Brent, of
Get cooped
of the leaking game. He's out here. Let's kick off our Leakamania. And we got
Leakamania.
Star Trek. Now, I think we mentioned it on the previous broadcast, but I want to hear more.
Oh, yeah.
The Girth gang on this. I think there's new information, Brent. As
I don't think I was around for the Star Trek talk, but I remember listening to it.
Mm-hmm.
See, I replay gang everything that I'm not here for, so it's funny because when we talk about it again, like I have to remember if I was actually in the stream for it or was I just listening to it? Because I remember it, but I was like, was I there? Was I not? But no, I definitely, we'll get into this because I got opinions, but I definitely wasn't here for when these were. So let's see. Sorry, I had to get a little closer to my screen here. So yeah, it's gonna be what ship is it? Oh, what up, Blake? It's gonna be what, $100 or 90?
So no, it's 3,600 pieces. So I don't know if we have a price yet, but
we don't have a price. I was looking for the price.
I don't know if they can get 350 for that. There is a lot of figs. I'd like to see it at 299. They might try 350. Who knows?
Yeah.
This isn't a layup for them to get 350. Star Trek is not Star Wars. I'm not going to get into they have a big fan base, and I'm not saying maybe it works at 350. I think 300 maybe lets curious through the door a little bit more. But it appears to be, I'm very mid or less than mid on my knowledge, but this appears to be the new generation, Brent. So this would be the TV show, Star Trek: The Next Generation, the TV show.
The old school version?
80s, 90s. Yeah, no, the first one is with Captain Kirk and Spock and all that. This one, I believe, is like from the 90s show. And
okay. So there was
to help me out here, but
there was like a really
from probably the second, in my eyes, probably the second most famous iteration of it, probably behind like Kirk and Spock. But this one's, as far as collectibles go, I don't know if this is more coveted than the OG of the OGs. Does that make sense? So
I wouldn't.
Yeah, I know it's next generation. Okay, let me ask you guys, would you guys say, I mean, they're making the set out of this, so is this going to be more culturally sort of relevant? I know Picard's come back a few times. Is this, first of all, what does the Girth gang think about them going with this versus the OG cast? I'm curious to know.
Yeah, like I'm definitely, I've never seen, the only bit of Star Trek I've ever seen is like back in the day when I would be at my grandpa's house, like, watching Star Wars on TV or whatever, and the next thing that would come on would be Star Trek or something, and they'd always just be like sitting somewhere just talking, and they looked funny and weird, and I'd be like flipping through the channels at my grandpa's or something, and it would come on. So I think what
I was on at everybody's grandpa's house. Yeah.
Well, I think what I was seeing had to have been like, reruns of the OG TV show, because it looked really, really old. Like it definitely had to be the OG stuff. But in terms of like the details of, because it's crazy to think about, like as a Star Wars fan, like we see the OT, the prequels, and the sequels. And like we've been in so many conversations about all three of those different trilogies and like comparing all three of them. So it's interesting to think about, like, what the Trekkies or whatever, or the Star Trek fans, what they talk about when it comes to, because I don't really know anyone that's really hardcore into Star Trek even. So I don't really know. To me, my biggest takeaway on all this Star Trek set coming out from Lego is that it kind of feels wrong when like Lego Star Wars is such a prominent thing, and I don't know why it feels weird that the same company is all. It's like one restaurant having. Wait, hold on. Did someone make this reference? Hold on, last week they might have, but it's like the same restaurant having Coke and Pepsi. Did someone say that last week?
Yeah, maybe, but that's a fair point. It seems
Like Star Wars is Coke, and then you
so
have
the gang.
Pepsi.
Yeah, the gang. Hold
Yeah.
on, real quick. The gang is weighing in. They're saying next generation would just probably work better for like the current crop of A-falls. Now I'm going to take it a step further. Is there any divide amongst the Trekkie or Trekker folks on basically the OG versus next generation? Kind of like there's a little bit of sparring between the OT and the prequel boys. Is there anything like that going on in that community?
I'm really surprised. How
And
many
I agree with
pieces?
Calvin here. I think there's room for everybody on this one.
3,600. So I'm very surprised that make it no. I know make it so is like some kind of quote from Star Trek. I know that much. All I know is that if anyone's ever seen Fanboys, that movie has like that's really the only like little bit of like Star Trek thing that I've seen because there's like Star Trek people in that movie. But yeah, no, I think it's really. I mean, Sean, don't you think it's kind of weird that first Star Trek thing and they're just going all in, Girthy boy, 3,600 pieces? Because I would expect it.
Yeah, it's interesting, Brent, because they're kind of they're Zelda-ing this, right? Is that going to be the term we're going to use now?
Zelda-ing, yeah, just going.
But I would say this is
full
more
sending.
They're full sending, but I struggle to think about like what else I would have done if I was going to do, if it's like, all right, we have to go with a Girthy boy set out of the gate for Zelda, so it's like, that was probably as good a pick as any. I guess you could have went with like a kind of a sick Hyrule Castle or something. I mean, whatever. There's a couple different options. I do hope that they don't use this as sort of a barometer for, smaller play scale, whatever you want to call it. Again, I don't know too much about it, but there's just gobs and gobs of ish they could make off of this. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
like an interior scene on the bridge. They could do the OG guys with their, I know you know the uniforms and all that. I mean, there's tons of fig opportunities. There's Klingons.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably going to have like different.
There's me knowing nothing, I could probably piece together like 20 sets.
Right. Yeah.
And
I mean,
so it's a bummer if they judge the whole theme, Brent. What I'm getting at is I hope they put this out, and if it performs mid and they just bail on it, like that would suck for people getting their hopes up.
Yeah. So couple things for me. Yeah, I'm surprised that their first go around with a Star Trek set isn't like, something like the MIDI scale Star Wars sets we get. I could see
this is a Falcon, right? This is their Falcon.
Yeah,
right?
They're kind of going, yeah. Well, and then you mentioned Zelda-ing. That's
Battle
definitely
packs galore. Yeah, dude. I mean, I could get into this if it was,
Well, Sean, I mean, before Zelda, we had. I'm pretty sure that Rivendell came out first. You know what I mean? That was kind of them being like, "Oh, you want Lord of the Rings?" Well, I know they had Lord of the Rings in previous years, but they were making the return to Lord of the Rings, and they're like, "Okay, $500," and then a couple brickheads. So yeah, it's kind of, and it's weird, man. Something I've always noticed that I've always said, like especially throughout these last few years of all these Lego sets that come out. I mean, the thousands that have came out in the last handful of years. I feel like sometimes they make stuff too big, like, okay, think like the Black Panther bust, something like that, or the Hulk buster. It's like they make something too big, or they make something not big enough. I'm looking over at a stack of Lego over there. I see the Pod Racer diorama. It's really cool. Don't get me wrong, but I most certainly wasn't paying $80 for it, because to me, I would rather have something like I have it up there, but I have the I don't know, I think it's like the 20. The commenters are going to kill me, but yeah, the one with Rex and the box art, those two pod racers, Anakin and Sebulbas, like that is perfect. They're not a little rinky dink little tiny build, but it's not this like unnecessarily big thing. So I feel like Lego sometimes struggles to find the happy medium on some of these stuff. Especially when they downscaled a lot of the Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, you guys hear me every show at least once. I say play the hits, right? So it's like, they're playing the hits here. The thing is, though, you're doing it at a price point where it's pretty crazy. But I think they must think that, and again, this is just some mock or whatever, just to kind of show the ship for those unfamiliar. It's probably not even a great one. It doesn't look that good. No disrespect, I'm saying this is not what I would have pictured, but Shout out to the
It
guy.
ain't no
So
Millennium
bad.
Falcon.
But anyway, it's a double-edged sword, right? Because it's like as soon as everybody heard they're making Star Trek, and again, I want everybody to chime in that has more knowledge on the subject. Everyone's like, "Oh, they're doing the Enterprise," and then the second question would have been, "Okay, are we going to go OG or are we going to go TNG?" Right? And so they went Next Generation. And that seems to be the right call. I've just noticed that seems to be sort of more popping. I keep tabs on a little bit, but everybody here that's knowledgeable is confirmed. This seems to be sort of the right iteration of Star Trek to go after. So I'm happy for everyone. Calvin, who's a big fan of both, shout out to Calvin, good friend, said he's most hyped on this over anything Star Wars
Wow.
this year, which I'm gonna get into a bit. I noticed a disturbing trend in the Force with Star Wars this year. We'll get into that. But yeah, Brent, that's kind of it. Cooper saying 350 to 400, so I guess that 300 dream is out the door. Let me ask you this, Brent. If they are gonna just make the big girthy boy, I think they're probably okay with selling less of these at a higher price. That's kind of why they did this rather than start with like a $70 MIDI boy, for example.
Yeah, I could see that. But yeah, I don't know. Like, for me, it's really hard to get over that Lego is making both Star Wars and Star Trek because I mean, I don't know. Growing up for me, like, a lot of AFOLs now will describe like when they were growing. Tyler talks about it all the time. Like, you're growing up and you're at a friend's house and you find like an off-brand Lego brick in their collection. You're like, what the hell is this thing? And and it just like doesn't feel right. Like to me, like as a kid, I mean, I'm not saying like this is a valid like I'm sure Star Trek is fine. I've literally never seen a single second other than flipping through channels back when people did that. Flipping through channels at my grandpa's house on the television.
That's everybody.
And stuff.
Yeah.
And stuff.
It's
Well,
like Batman 66, you know what I mean? It's like the same thing. Richard
I used to love that though.
Lego don't do guns. I wonder if they'll make phasers. Yeah, they do blasters. I think so.
Oh yeah, blasters are fine.
They'll do it for sure. I mean, these are pew fake stuff. Oh, shout out to Mark.
Hey, Mark.
OG Star Trek is for boomers. There was like one season, and Next Generation was bigger, not counting the movie. So there you go. But you can't deny the cultural significance of the OG. And I think like if they're going for in and around, let's see, I should have watched it. Next Generation 40s. That's kind of, it came out when we were 10 to teenagers. I would say I feel like that was kind of the run there. So this should appeal to me. I just never.
So okay, so when all right, so back when it was coming out, do you feel like you had kind of a similar, like, because you've been a Star Wars fan your whole life, do you feel like you kind of had like, and not necessarily like you went out of your way to avoid Star Trek, but like that little voice on your shoulder that was like, you already watched Star Wars and that's the better one anyway?
No,
because for me it was like, I don't even want to touch Star Trek. Like,
it looks boring.
Well, it's always looks boring to me too. But
and from what I hear, there's action, but there's a lot of like cultural and sort of character development going on there. Like, I really should go back. It's just there's so much, again, competition. I think it would definitely appeal to me now. They had a lot of firsts in the original series. First interracial relationship, I believe. There's like a big message of equality. I've heard a lot of really positive things about it. And I'm all for that, but I just, for whatever reason, man, I just didn't. But Brent, I love that you blatantly were like, nah, dog, I'm a Star Wars.
No, like growing up, I just like, to me, it was just like, is that the off-brand Star Wars? Like, did they just like, they wanted to, and to me too, like, I always felt like it can't, now to give me, to really get it right, because growing up I always thought, Star Trek also probably came out after Star Wars and it was just trying to do what Star Wars did. But I actually think, correct me if I'm wrong, someone in the chat knows, I'm sure, but the old school Star Trek show is older than Star Wars, like the very first Star Wars movie, I think, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So see, I used to get fact checked on that when I'd be at school, middle school, whatever grade I was in, arguing with some other nerd that like Star Wars was way better. Because growing up, I always thought, is Star Trek just trying to copy Star Wars because Star Wars got big? But
We should have had Mark in for this. So, Mark, I've always heard this term space opera. Like, and I don't think it literally means like.
Also, what is it? Is it
but-
guiding light? Like my mom used to watch Guiding Light, and they were always just in rooms talking. Because anytime I've seen seen it on TV, it was always like the weird, the characters just sitting around talking.
Sort of like, okay, so like
Yeah, but the thing
opera.
is, Star
Okay.
Wars is a space opera, but there's plenty of action in it. Like, okay, in Lord of the Rings, like, 'cause
Barley, hold on, Barley. The first UCS is the Enterprise. I'm making sure Barley sees. Okay,
so no, I just always thought like, okay, so like Lord of the Ring, like these like
Brett
drama
sounds like-
shows.
Brett sounds like Tyler right now.
I am kind of channeling Tyler a little bit on this right now. It's like I'm doing an impression without like.
There's other countries.
There is other countries. How many? How come I only ever hear of the Pacific and the Atlantic? Bearded Brick, man, that's so funny. He was just like, probably because those are the two that are next to you. Anyways, to zone back in on this, Star Trek boring. Like I get it. You can have good. What I was trying to get at is like you can have like good character lore and like it's a drama or whatever, but like I need some action. I need some stuff going on. Like I wouldn't watch Lord of the Rings if it was all just about the lore and the drama and this and that. If there was no actual like battles or any like action going on, just like, I mean, I could say the same thing about Harry Potter. Like anytime I'd see, like, I've never seen the Twilight movies, but people would compare them to Harry Potter a little bit. It's like, sure, you can have good story. I don't know. Call me an immature, kid. I still am a kid at heart, but like I need some action, man. I can't just only watch like
Good
characters.
Good friend of mine, good friend of ours, Fat Figs, was just sending me some information on the side here. So he's saying there's about 1,000+ hours of Star Trek between 13 different movies and like 10 different shows, compared to only 350 of existence in Star Wars. So
what do they do for all that
he's
time?
saying next gen is the move. It's the most popular sort of version of Star Trek. So there you go. Grunk Brick says late AF on the Rewind gang, but Brent just shouted out Chillicothe. I'm up in Cleveland, but I've been there before, close to Hocking Hills. Neat.
Oh,
city.
word.
Look at that.
Hold on. Bring that comment back up again. Who said
Grunk
that?
Bricks.
Grunk Bricks. Shout out to Grunk Bricks, man. Yeah. Ohio shit, man. Hell yeah.
I knew you'd love that. All right, let's see.
I've been to Hocking Hills once or twice.
Johnny G, nerds will buy all them Trek Legos. Yeah, well, good. I'm
Yeah, I mean, good for them. I'm stoked for them. It's just don't get me wrong. Would I maybe watch it someday and be like, oh my god, I can't believe for all these years I like didn't want to watch Star Trek, but I don't know.
All right, so Mark's clarifying
Good for them, though.
space opera. I've always heard the term and I never looked into it. So he's saying it's Star Wars, not like a soap opera, like a literal opera where it's like good versus evil and good wins. Well,
so if they don't have,
hold on, but isn't that what goes on in Star Trek too? I'm a little confused. I thought
in Star Trek, do they have their own versions of lightsabers?
Brad, don't do this to me, man. Last Starfighter set. Oh, bro. Now, Brent, I don't know if you've been in that world yet. It's a one movie thing. You need to do it. 80s Last Starfighter. It is awesome. It's
a one-off movie called Last Starfighter.
Yes.
Is it
really good? I don't know.
Starfighter.
I'm
So
sure the graphics
space?
are going to look
take
weird.
place in space and shit.
It's about God. I'm a little blurry on it, but basically,
like sci-fi.
No, this kid like plays an arcade, like a stand-up arcade game of this like space battle game, and he's like so good at it that they actually recruit him to like bring him. Dude, it's like crazy.
So it's like Ready Player. It's
right.
like it's
been years, but I used to love that movie.
Okay, so it's Ready Player One meets like Top Gun.
Maybe I haven't seen it in so long, but it's so good.
Well, have you seen Ready Player One?
Johnny G, you guys know Mayo? Okay, yeah, of course, everybody knows Mayo. I mean, come on. Brent is Tyler right now.
Dude, I'll tell you what, it's weird because like I'm only ever in this for like the first hour, and like it was so weird in the beginning, like coming into this. Dude, it's probably been like freaking 50 episodes since it's only been me and Sean. It used to be me and Sean a lot way back in the day. And it's like, I don't know. It's like I'm used to having Tyler here or somebody else here. And
It's
you
true.
know, I haven't done my impressions in a long time, so you know, I don't know. Maybe I might
He's
I might,
channeling.
I might mess
Oh.
around and do another impression.
I love this, Whittaky. I can't remember Pavarotti singing in Star Wars. Tyler's view on Star Trek. I know we need Tyler for.
I want it.
It's
Maybe
heavy.
that's why I'm acting. I'm like doing like a Tyler impression without even like thinking about it, is because like I'm really thinking about, man, how does he feel about Star Trek? I want to
Well,
assume that he.
Tyler would have joined, but now he's asleep with all this Star Trek talk.
Oh, I know exactly. No, honestly, I think
People ride for it though. I gotta respect it.
I guarantee Tyler doesn't know what guiding light is, but it's like a boring TV
I
drama
used
that
to,
my
I used to be
mom.
forced to watch that. I remember that.
Yeah, my mom used to watch it, and I feel like Tyler would say, "Listen, quite frankly, to me, Star Trek just seems like guiding light in space or something." I feel like that's like something he'd
Yeah.
say.
Well, I will say it was
Guiding light in space.
a lot of dialogue. Like I think that was part of it. I remember
Yeah.
there was a lot
But
of talking.
I don't ever try to like, as I'm getting older, I try not to rip on Star Trek too much, because I'm like, man, if someone had only ever seen Attack of the Clones and nothing else, you know what I mean? And they saw it on TV for 2 seconds, they'd be like, what the hell is this? But I don't know.
Now he wants Ryan's take on Trek.
Ryan's probably
but-
just like, I
yeah,
don't care.
he probably hasn't watched it.
Super short. He'd give it like 2 seconds. He'd be like, I don't watch it. I don't care. That's
All
that's 100%.
SLR Media. Brett is making me feel old. I'm only 53. All right, shout out to Brett.
Brent. Hey, sometimes is he mistakenly, is he like typo and try to say Brent? Because people do that in real life, and I don't even correct them half the
I
time.
do think it will sell well. There's a lot of fans. Truth. All right. Well, look, everybody's opinionated on it. This is a good thing. I mean, this is getting a lot of reactions, a lot of feedback from the gang. Looks like Amy.
I didn't have it on my
Amy's
unit
into
card.
it. She's a good barometer for things that are good. LSF, Last Starfighter. Yes. Now it's Kay today. She's agreeing. The Last Starfighter is good.
Ryan's in the chat when they're like, I wonder what his take on this would be.
Well,
And
he's
I was
driving
like,
home, I think. So.
He'd give it 2 seconds, and he'd be like, haven't
Yeah,
seen it.
about
Don't
right.
care.
Yeah, I think I've talked to him about it. I'm like, you a Trek guy at all? He's like he's aware of it, obviously, but he doesn't, everyone's gonna start calling you Brett. That's cool.
People do it in real life all the time. I don't even correct them half the time,
They'll
unless
use
like
that for
they
Spock.
keep
People
doing
ride
it.
hard for Spock. I will say that. Like he's probably the most popular besides, I don't know, Picard. Like, can you guys stack rank like the top 5 most loved characters? I feel like Spock's in there.
I couldn't name if
Kirk,
I
I
had a
feel like he's a meme, but people also like him. Let me we got a request. I'm gonna send a link here. Somebody's
Oh, do we? One thing I'll say while you're doing that is the only weird Star Trek fact I know isn't the guy, like when they made the first Halloween movie with Michael Myers, didn't they take a Star Trek mask and like that's what they made it out of? And it's the one guy.
I think
What's
it was
his name?
Kirk. Yeah, Kirk. No.
The Kirk one, yeah, or whatever. That's the only like weird little tidbit I know.
We'll see. You should care about it. You know what?
Because I love Halloween. I love Michael Myers in those movies. So.
I need to watch Harry Potter. You need to watch Star Trek.
Oh, dude, come on. That's not a fair trade. Make me watch something else cool that I haven't seen. You're doing Potter.
Well, it's going to be just as difficult. So we did get a send me a link request. So we're going to have a very special guest joining.
Oh, nice. It's going to be a little surprise for me.
Missed. Mike Myers' mask is the William Shatner mask.
William Shatner. Yeah, okay. That's the name. Yeah.
All right. So we've got some feedback from Fat here. He's saying Picard, Data, Kirk, Spock, McCoy are the biggest. And a couple more stats. Star Wars or Trek was 66. Wars was in 77.
66 was that TV show. Dang, man.
And then he's saying, like, it's crazy to think Lego not doing that. They do Marvel and DC, and that's probably a much bigger rivalry.
That's true. I don't know why I didn't think about it that way.
Not much of one now. And Marvel's kind of wiping the floor with them, but we'll see.
Yeah.
It'll sell well. Yeah, it's a big rabbit hole. Brent, have you seen either of these two movies? Now, this is legitimate homework for you.
Yes.
Last Starfighter, Never Ending Story. Have you seen those?
No, but I will definitely watch both of them.
Dude, both of those, Amy is so right.
Okay, hold on. All right, so while
eaters,
I just because I literally have this physical movie in my just beside my shelf, I will watch those movies. Last Starfighter, Never Ending Story. I always talk about fanboys, man, and this has to do with Star Trek. Star Trek. There's Star Trek fans in here. We're throwing out movies. That's why.
Oh, okay.
Watch Fanboys. Just saying. One of the greatest movies of all time.
TNG, FPJ, D1B all the way. People are horned up for this. Ladies and gentlemen, proud to
Surprise.
bring to the broadcast the first guest of ACOB in 2025. It's very emotional and apropos. It's a great friend, and he is the provider of the greatest time of our lives. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Larson. He's a space
Here we
opera.
go.
He provided a space opera dissertation.
Yeah.
He's the CBO, chief brick officer of Brick World. He's not cheap. He spends a lot. He's the chief brick officer. Oh, look at this. He's already got the merch out. Did you see this, Mark? I didn't even think you were on.
Tyler's here in spirit in the Brick World, the Brick World brick show.
Mark, I hashtagged Brick World. It's already there. It's going to be here probably the rest of the year. We're all excited.
Yeah.
153 days. I don't know if you're aware of that, Mark.
158 until the Monday, and then 162 until the actual start.
I do know that. I have a
Every week we have Austin.
You have an app for that?
yes.
Or you just watch
I have several different apps for that, actually, just between Eventbrite and the other ways we're tracking what to do and when. I did know it's a 162 exactly until the public days open, and then so that gives it what you just said 158 until the Monday.
Something.
Yeah.
Yep. 158.
Yeah.
At least it's still 3 digits, All right.
Dude,
Yeah.
it starts to get scary even for me, who's not involved as much as you, but I'm like 100 days. What are we gonna do? Like,
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, same.
And Mark, I'm gonna try not to have all my best ideas like 20 days before the show this time. Okay.
Yeah, that's why we should meet next week. But
We do need
business
to get
time,
together on that. Yeah. All right.
here's what I just figured out. And by the way, I have new tech here, so I'm gonna make sure I get closer to this microphone because it is directional. And I don't have my arm set up yet. But I am getting all the audio and video from Animal Crossing for the late night cozy streams. If you guys are interested in joining, follow Brick World events on YouTube. Check us out. We're doing Brick World Crossing. We're doing Think Outside the Blocks. We're doing Brick World live streams. Anyway, plug aside. So I looked it up to see if I can actually explain the exact difference to you guys. If I had to send a text real quick, like here's a site that explains the difference between space opera and Star Trek. And
Yeah.
it seems that now, like post-internet age, they're both now considered space opera, which is not at all the way it was argued back in like the Gen X days, pre-internet, right? So people would say like Star Trek is actual science fiction, whereas Star Wars is just space opera.
Let me ask you this,
Go ahead.
but hold on. Like, okay, so it is grounded in sci-fi, and I get that, and I respect that, and I appreciate
They
it.
both are.
But I do feel like when you're gonna is Star Wars weird in the way that Star Trek was weird? Like,
Here's how
that says sci-fi to me. They had the sounds, it had like the kitschy effects, maybe.
Yeah.
But it was early, right? It was 66 or 77.
65.
Okay, so but I would
episode The Cage.
Again, based on just visuals and whatever, like I would when you said that's what people are defining as, like I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
I guess where I need more help is on space opera.
So that's where I'm going.
Okay.
So space opera, the initial definition was space opera was, as I said earlier, not soap opera, but literal opera. Like it's just like you're going to sit down for 90 minutes, you're going to see a conflict, and good is going to prevail.
But isn't that every movie though? I don't
operas.
understand it. It's
What's that?
every movie is
most
good versus evil, and good wins 9 times out of 10 movies you watch, right?
Yeah, show me a movie where the villain wins.
There's a few, but that's like fair. It's 10%. I don't even know.
It's real life right now. Anyway, no. That aside, the initial point was that like Star Trek has like wins and losses and changes in the universe, changes in the story, changes in the dynamics of the story, where you may lose a character. Where like famously in Star Wars, like Harrison Ford was asking for production credit to be killed off for Return of the Jedi, so that like their freedom actually cost something. And so very operatically, all of the heroes won in Star Wars, with the exception of Anakin, but he was a villain most of the time, right?
Yeah.
In the OT, right? So that was initially the way I understood it, was like there is a depth of story to Star Trek that is not present in Star Wars, because Star Wars is a very simple good versus evil 3-act play. Good guys win, bad guys win, good guys win.
Right.
And whereas Star Trek was like outside of just an initial binary sort of good versus evil, they were exploring the universe. So there were wins and losses, and like an overall story that had other different stories along the way, like a deeper science fiction than the space opera of just like, we're just going to do this and it's over and it's done.
So really,
Well, hold on, can I
it just
interject
seems
real
like
quick?
a clever. Hold on, it just seems like a real clever like marketing term, because it really, again, opera literally to me, besides the literal opera, could be applied, like I said, to 90% of the movies. And so I
Agreed.
feel like space opera was a take on soap opera, is what I think. Like the term was coined to be like, this will sound cute. It's a space opera.
Well, so
It wasn't a marketing term. It was
Well, whatever it is, like a cute reporter. A reporter was being cute and just came up with like rom-com.
It's a nerd argument term. Like it
Okay,
didn't come
all
from
right.
either. It wasn't a reporter. It wasn't media. It was like it was nerds arguing on AOL chat rooms.
Okay. Brent?
I feel like it's like, okay, so with Star Wars, the movies are the main thing. I feel like with Star Trek, no one talks about the movies as much as it is like the TV
There's a group
show.
that does.
Oh, but I got to tell you.
Well, how many Star Trek movies are there?
10?
Like 19?
Yeah,
Movies?
Let's look this up real quick.
I got it.
How many Star
Movies?
Trek movies out? Yes.
13.
So we're gonna start. We're gonna
13
start with like
movies,
Star
10
Trek the
shows.
movie.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna go to Star Trek 2: The Wrath of Khan, Star Trek 3: The Return of Spock, Star Trek.
So they
4,
had feature films
Star Trek 5
back in the day?
They had the films though way late after the original show aired for like
back
what?
in the day. There were Star Trek movies.
Now hold on. So Mark, timeline is the show was only on like a season or two, and then like
Yes.
20 years later they made
And there were-
movies.
And there was only like 8 episodes in the initial season, and like people just latched onto it because it was like innovative in the way that they did like the so like they had the bridge of the Enterprise, and they had the planets, and they had like the creature effects. It was well ahead of its time. It just didn't have big enough of an audience, kind of like Firefly. If you're into that.
Never heard of
How many
that.
Star Trek movies have there been?
Yeah, because I
can't-
swear I've
can't-
only
13. 13, they did them only after Star Wars did they do the movies. 3 seasons of the original series, 13 films.
12 series, for fuck's sake, man.
Yeah,
13 films.
Yeah.
12 series.
And by the way, The Voyage Home, Star Trek 4, one of my favorite movies. It's very.
A lot of people say
very-
like
What
Spock,
year did that
the
come
Search
out?
for
Which-
Spock is better than all of them.
1983.
So the same year as Return of the Jedi?
Yeah, they started putting them out after Star Wars.
Let's see, Voyage Home.
Brett is doing an Oscar-worthy Tyler impression.
But like is it Kirstie Alley? Is it Kirstie Alley who's
He was
in
in it, yeah.
the first Star Trek movie? Kirstie Alley is the bald android, right?
I think she was in it. I don't remember what she was.
Voyage Home is 1986.
We
Sorry.
got a lot of people saying 4 and 6. I've a friend I know thinks the Spock one's like the greatest thing ever. So there's a lot
See,
of
I'm-
people who
Spock
like-
is great. The
I've-
Wrath of Khan is amazing.
I feel like
you
I've
know the origins of Khan. First of all, I'll go back to the series. Second of all, I'll go back to the Wrath of Khan. Yeah, Kirstie Alley is in it.
I just feel like my whole life I've grown
Savik.
up knowing that
Savik.
there's Star Trek shows, and then
Who said that?
I knew they did movies like
Bryce. Shout out to
like
Bryce.
they did, what's the most recent Star Trek movies? What was it, like the mid 2010s or something when they did the most
Yeah.
recent ones?
It's the
like
J.J.
Chris-
Abrams one.
He's
So
a
I
J-
don't
See,
know.
Those were the only Star Trek
That-
movies I even know existed.
think that's what got him
even.
Okay,
Star
so
Wars
that's
stuff.
that's your first actual. I would say before just
Yeah,
now,
but I
none
grew
of
up
your
going
comments
to.
have been Tyler-esque, but that one was.
Of course, but still though, I'm a lot older than Tyler, and I grew up going to movie stores, and I never saw like Star Trek movies on the shelves ever.
This drives me nuts.
Never.
This drives
I
me
kn-
nuts sometimes about younger generations. They're like, "Well, that movie was made before I was born." I'm like,
Would
"I've
you
seen a
say-
lot of movies that were made before I was born." Because you
No,
know,
I have two.
There's
I have
bias.
two. No,
There's
I
a
have two.
bias.
think about the
uh,
video store that you went to. It's
Mark,
their
there's a
fault.
bias that I went
No,
through.
dude, I mean, I'm talking like I've gone Hollywood Video, like Blockbusters, family
Oh yeah,
videos.
so you are a man of a certain age.
Yeah, I'm 30, so like I'm not. I'm
Well,
not
expected to be
Tyler's
45.
24,
Manager-
23 or
The
something.
managers of those stores failed you for sure.
I guess,
Well,
man.
here's the
I don't
deal.
know. I went
Well,
to
mine
many
was
my
stores
dad.
on vacation in different states. Never saw like. Now, don't get me wrong. Like I think every once in a while I saw the Star Trek. Like
Oh,
Love
know,
this.
in the different section where they had the TV show stuff, I might have saw Star Trek, but I never saw Star Trek like out
All right,
with all,
ladies
like,
and gentlemen,
I
we've
think
received a
Knopfenheimer-
call. Hold on, we were just getting word. We have a call from a Star Trek expert on the line.
Oh,
Hello, sir,
God.
are you there?
more.
I didn't know this
Hey.
was going
Hey,
to be. What's going on,
doing?
brother?
Who is this?
Where are you calling from? Name a planet, Mark.
Coruscant.
No.
Oh,
Coruscant.
not Coruscant. I'm sorry. I'm from.
I don't know the Star Trek one so well.
Ooh.
How about Deep Space
Ooh.
Nine or Bajor?
Oh yeah, give that.
All right.
right,
You
the
lost
floor
me already.
is yours. I don't even know if this is like a. I don't even know what this is about. Oh, no one's. I don't think anybody's arguing here. But oh, should I do this thing? Does that mean like everything's cool?
Is that what
No,
they
I was
do?
trying to get my reactions going, but I don't know why they are. But no,
Is
this
this
means,
what they do?
Live long and prosper is what that means. If you
Yeah.
This is
The
what they
Vulcan,
do.
Vulcan,
All right.
Vulcan sign.
We've got to
No,
start.
so Mark was just making some mistakes, and I just wanted
Oh,
to
yeah,
chime in.
thank
Not
you.
that was
I
the
knew I
only
was.
reason, but that was what pushed me over the edge. But Christy Alley
He's
was in Star
texting
Trek,
me
but she wasn't
furiously.
in Star Trek until the Wrath of Khan, where she played the Vulcan Savick, I believe, and she was in the beginning of.
She was in the. I thought she was in the initial movie. I thought she was in the Star
No,
Trek.
that was who I think her name was Ilea or something. That was not Christy Alley. Christy Alley was a Vulcan in the
Dang.
second movie.
All right. Oops. I should have done IMDb first. All right.
And I just want to confirm with Star Trek expert, she was
Let's see.
hot in that movie. Is that correct?
She was hot in that movie.
Oh,
yes.
oh.
I just want to make sure I remember that correctly. Thank you.
She's
that's
not
my
the bald one.
No, she was not the bald one. Christy Alley was replaced though.
Yeah.
That's because she got a real job on
I
Moonlighting.
think in the
On
Search for
Cheers.
Spock. I think she was
not
only
on
in one
Moonlighting.
movie.
Oh yeah, the other one. Oh, Cheers. my
Cheers.
bad, my
Cheers.
Yeah.
bad. And look who's talking. That was good.
Right. Right.
All right. Star Trek expert. What is you're also a big Lego fan, obviously.
All right, so here's the thing. Okay, I'm a
break it
huge
down.
Lego
Is this going to
fan.
work, or are people going to care? What's going on?
What's your-
I am so excited about a Star Trek set coming out. I've literally wanted this for like 15 years.
You want a set or a theme, though? Are you cool with this? And if it fails, are we done here? What do you think's going to happen?
This sounds like Austin.
There's no way. Okay, I want
No.
a theme.
Okay.
I want a theme, but there's no way this isn't going to blow up into a theme. Like it's probably going to start out as like Transformers, where they do like Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, and then Soundwave is supposed to be the next one. It's probably going to be the Enterprise, and they'll
Spoilers.
do something else. But it's going to grow into a theme, and this is going to be Lego's second biggest theme in no time. I mean, the Enterprise they're doing is
Second
like
biggest?
the Falcon. I've talked to people about this. They said the same thing.
Yeah.
There's
Second
literally,
biggest
I
theme?
texted you, there's
No
1,000 hours of content. I Googled it, there's like 14 different enterprises that they could build on. I mean,
Yeah.
You know, I was talking to somebody the other day, and they made the Justifier that was in one episode or two episodes of whatever. I mean, you know how many ships or
$170
whatever
too.
there is for a Star Trek thing? I mean, Blue Bricks just got lost the license. I mean, I don't know how many ships they made, but I mean, there's thousands of different ships. There's different places.
Right.
I mean, there's so much Star Trek stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. I was talking to Tyler about this the other night. And what year did the Clone Wars come out?
Oh wait.
So well, it's even a little bit earlier because in 2000 and
Well, the one
2003,
people care about though.
2003 was the
All right,
cartoon
so just
version.
call it
and then-
08. Call it 08.
Yeah, call it
The
08.
show itself or
In
the movie? was
2008, there was only
Like a clone
12
movie.
hours of Star Trek that they'd been making Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
I apologize. I was going to say this at the beginning. I'm a little sick, so if I say something wrong, I apologize. But I'm.
It's okay.
By the way,
I
Steve,
had
you're doing
something.
great. This is Steve Trek, just to be clear. He's
Okay.
yeah, Steve Trek. Go ahead, Steve.
There was literally 12 hours of Star Wars to make content on
Right.
in the first 10 years of Lego Star
Which
Wars.
is like 6 movies, maybe a little more than 12, but I hear you.
Well, I mean, give or take. I mean, that's the easiest analogy. There's
Oh, but the
literally
depth of the
1,000
exposition.
hours, 13 movies. You know, 27 TV shows. Mark said the number of TV shows the other day.
Yeah.
I mean, Last
I've
year
never,
there
I've
were
never
Hold
heard
on.
of
Full-scale
these
triples.
movies.
That's a bold claim. Now, Mr.
need-
Trek, you're saying,
We
How
need
did I
full
never
scale
heard-
triples.
hold
We
on,
do.
with a bullet, you're saying number 2 theme. So you're saying this,
Oof.
and we're talking about just like licensed, I assume, but like you're saying this can take out Potter, Marvel, whoever else is
Shit,
competing. for number 2.
botanicals is the biggest theme right now.
No,
All
well,
right, so I mean,
you talking
I would say
Going out
with
of
this
typewriter.
licensed
Yeah.
theme. I mean, it's definitely going to be top 5. I mean,
We're all
it
CNN
just
talking
depends
over
upon
stuff.
how hard they dip into this, because there's so many. I mean, dude, back in the day, there used to be. You know how we had Star Wars Celebration as one convention? That's a Star Wars convention. You know, back a decade ago, there used to be dozens and dozens of
This is
Star Trek
getting
conventions.
awesome.
Steve,
I gotta
people
tell you,
can-
Steve.
people can speak Klingon. It's its own.
There
language.
is an own. I mean, Mike
People
Okuda
can
wrote an
fucking
entire
speak it.
language
Okay, let me
just
ask
so
you
they can
this,
speak
Steve.
Klingon
Steve,
smartly on Star Trek.
Steve, I only care about one thing, and you know this about me: box office, sir. And I'm not talking about at the theaters. I'm talking about box office in terms of sales. Is the fandom spending like Star Wars maniacs, where they're just
Steve, I'm
buying
googling.
all the shit? Like, are they? Is it at the level? Because I feel like they've always Star Trek. To Brent's great point at the outset, it hasn't. I don't recall them having like the Mattel deal or the Hasbro.
I never saw any of it.
He's
Like, I
never
never saw
seen
the
the
movies on
toys
the
out
shelf.
there.
I mean,
I know it's
I
geared
don't have
towards
them
olds.
here, but when I was younger,
Oh,
I
we're
bought
talking
Star
today,
Trek
though. You're going
action
number
figures.
2. You're going.
I mean, I
number
have
Yeah,
Star
no,
Trek models.
Yeah, but dude, people
Star Wars
aren't
by
riding-
far outperforms
Yeah.
the Star Trek movies by box office. Like far outperforms. I don't know the Nielsen ratings for the shows because I feel like the Star Wars shows are like declining in quality very quickly. And I have
Somebody
watched.
Google what is the light? I mean, what is Star Trek worth versus what is Star Wars worth?
I just did, and that's
Okay.
why I'm telling you. It far outperforms. I don't have the exact numbers here, but like the first result is like, yeah, there's no comparison.
I mean,
However,
just to give you an idea, in the '90s, Star Wars or Star Trek Voyager launched an entire television network.
Yeah, thanks.
UPN.
Cooper.
UPN, yeah. If that was a trivia question, I would know it. However, so should we
Star
check
Trek has its
dollars?
own land at Disney.
I will
Star
check
Wars.
advertising dollars versus box office real quick.
There used to be. Okay, so now I mean Disney obviously owns it, so it's a little bit different.
CPA
It's
on
a
the ball
14
saying
park,
it's
but
worth
there
11
was the
billion.
Star Wars or Star Trek experience in Las Vegas for like decades before Star Wars had anything. I'm telling you, I mean, Star Trek is ginormous. This is the first Lego set
Well,
that I'm gonna buy the first day and build it the first day, and I don't know how long.
so
I guarantee you, there are so many Star Trek nerds out there. Star
There
Trek
are.
geeks, Trekkies, Trekkers, whatever you want to call them these days. That
so
it's going to be
Steve,
nuts.
Steve,
See, there were
That's
5 different Star Trek TV shows
Steve,
that's the
like
difference.
last year.
Steve,
That's
how many
different.
Lego sets do you have anyway, though? Seriously,
Real-
Thousands.
real quick though. That's the difference. Is
he
that like,
legitimately does.
that's the difference. There's a ton of fanboys out there for Star Trek, but Star Wars appeals not only to the fanboys but to the general public, and that's why it outpaces Star Trek in advertising dollars as well. Unfortunately, however,
I
in
mean,
the
here's-
passion,
here's-
but wait, real quick on the passion, because I have to check the oven, otherwise the house is going to burn down. I have a question for you. Was one of the things I got wrong, and I'll be able to listen, but I'm going to leave my microphone. What's your take on the term space opera? Was I off? Did you have the same opinion?
I mean, I believe I was close to what you were saying. I mean, I was trying to
Okay.
explain it to Sean in text, but you were close, and I was getting perturbed when you were talking about it, saying that I needed to be on, so I didn't catch it all. But I mean, Star Trek is.
Because I said
what-
Kirstie Alley was in the first movie. That was
right around that same time, and I was like, "Oh gosh, please, Mark." Star Trek is more what I call intellectual sci-fi.
There we go.
It's more now so just because of what Star
He's
Wars
saying
has
Star
done.
Wars
It's
fans
more
are dumb.
action or intellectual action, but
I-
Star Wars
Steve
is
just
like
said
an action
Steve
adventure.
just said Star Wars fans are dumb. I just want
He's
to.
not wrong. I mean,
I did not say that. I did not say that. I did
Go
not
ahead, say it.
that.
Yeah, but Star Wars does get more into like the sophisticated sci-fi and nerdy stuff in
No.
the
No, but
shows.
hold on, let me set the
In the
table here.
shows.
This isn't even an
Yeah, they do.
argument,
No.
by the
Clone
way.
Wars,
I
you
feel
have
like
8
Cat's
seasons.
arguing. I'm here to learn. Everyone's like,
I
this
mean,
is
here's the deal, dude. I mean, here's another thing that I was
Steve's
You have
thinking
8
battling
seasons
about.
of the Clone
You
Wars where it
realize
dives
the
into the Force. You have
first-
4 seasons of Rebels. And
The
all
Force
that stuff.
isn't
Like,
science fiction. Like the Force is
well, they tried to make it
intellectual.
science fiction with the
Force is
midichlorians and
intellectual, it's
stuff.
Spiritual.
Hmm.
Like the Star Trek really dives into the intellectual.
Well,
Steve is
I mean,
absolutely
Star
right.
Trek is
If you're
very
going into the
nerdy
Force, that's
science
There's
fiction.
n-
It used to be
yeah, but there's
super nerdy.
midichlorians
It
in
used
the
to always be
bloodstream.
based.
Fuck
It had a
midichlorians.
basis in
That was
reality.
Star
I
Wars
mean,
ever-
dude,
I'll be
Stephen
back.
Hawking visited the set of The Next Generation and pointed at the freaking warp reactor and said, "I am trying my hardest to make this work." I mean, it's less so now, but it used to be more nerdy or more geeky sci-fi.
Steve, is
It
this
was
fair? I
based in
just posted
reality.
your quote on the screen. Is this accurate?
What did I can't. I'm on my phone, so I don't know what it said.
Star Wars fans are dumb. Steve Trek.
Stop saying that. Everybody's gonna hate me. I mean, I'm a Star Wars fan. I mean, I was never really a Star Wars fan until
You
I
made
got into
Mark
Lego
leave,
Star
dude.
Wars.
You made Mark leave with your nerd rage, man.
No, he had to go pull food out of his oven or something.
Okay.
I'm just super passionate about Star Trek. I mean,
No, I get it. Listen, this is news to me. Look, we kicked off the leaks with this, where we're going like an hour on Star Trek at this point. I did not expect this. Brent, did you expect this kind of
No,
I mean,
no.
I literally probably forgotten more about Star Trek than most people will ever know in their life. But people used to be amazed because I could watch the first 5 seconds ish of a Star Trek episode and tell you the name, give you a synopsis in the first 5 seconds, and everybody was like, "Holy crap!"
People are now likening this, Steve, to LeBron versus Kobe.
That's sports. I don't even understand sports.
But you understand they're two big time basketball.
Yeah, too big. I mean, I assume because they're on different teams or something, right? Or are they on different?
I would say Coke versus Pepsi.
This is
crazy.
crazy.
Some people are just Pepsi people. Some people are just Coke people.
Brent,
it's hard to.
This is crazy, Brent. And we maybe should do like a quick commercial break. Read the screen right now, dude.
Wait, it's saying nothing on my side.
All right. Muttley777 has gifted 10.
Oh, memberships?
Membos. Let's freaking.
Why does that not show up for me? That's so
go.
weird.
I'm not sure, but we need a song. Justin, Steve.
We need like
you watch
5 songs.
Steve, I know you watch all the time. Is there a song you'd like to hear in honor of 10 gifted memberships, Steve Trek? Do you know it?
I don't know enough of your songs. I was listening to them the other day.
They're all fun. Brent, you want to go? We need to cleanse our palates. You want to go like with all the Star Trek? You want to go Droideka? You want to go Jabba? Your choice, dude.
Just do Droideka, yeah.
All right, yeah. We got.
Shout out
to
the Padawan.
All right, here we go.
You can run, even really fast. It won't matter when I roll up on your ass. I am metal. I've got my blasters. I'm a badass roly-poly robot disaster. Droideka, Trade Federation pinball. Droideka, I make all the Jedi pay. Yeah, I keep rolling, bitch.
Oh man, the gang is starting to turn on this. They're really getting upset. Steve, you really, this insult has really cut deep,
I mean,
man.
I didn't say the insult. I just said Star Trek is more. I mean, everybody. I mean, back in the day, people used to call all Star Trek people nerds or geeks, and Star.
They did that to
Wars
Star
people
Wars
are way
fans, too.
cooler.
Do you think
I'm
they
not
are a
trying to
little
be
geekier?
insulting. I'm just saying.
But hold on,
that-
Steve. You're in. Steve, I believe that you've got a foot in both camps. Is that fair to say?
I mean, now I'm both. Yes.
Okay. Close your eyes real quick and picture Star Trek convention people versus Star Wars convention people. Which ones are hotter? If you had to, more attractive. I know there's clumps of both, but out of 10, you know what I mean? So that's when people
All right.
say
So
it's
here's what I'm
nerdy.
going to say. I would probably say
I don't just mean
the
aesthetic.
hotter
either.
ones are probably going to be Star Wars. This is so going to be a stereotype, but
It's
just
fine.
because usually the Star Wars guys are going to be the big and bad guys, and girls like big and bad guys more than they like nerdy guys. So,
And honestly, when he says like intellectual science fiction, I followed easily because it gets much deeper because because it was episodic to start. They were getting to a lot more intellect. Like it's one of the big controversies of the initial Star Trek season is that Uhura was on the crew and she was a black woman. It's like, and this was the 60s, right? So it's just like it got into like.
Wasn't there a smooch too?
I mean, here's
Mark, there was a
something crazy,
smooch.
guys.
There was a
I've
smooch.
hung out.
The first biracial smooch on a screen. Is that correct? I believe
It was, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean,
So Steve, I'm sorry, Steve. I've updated your bio there. It says Star Wars fans are more attractive, courtesy of Steve Trek. We appreciate that.
So
thank you.
I don't think
I've
Star
met
Wars.
and hung out with Gene Roddenberry, the guy that created Star Trek.
What? Okay.
I mean, I'm telling you, this is. I don't even know what I was trying to say because now my headache.
I don't
No,
think that
Smoke-
Star
Smoke,
Wars.
I
Star
feel
Wars
like
fans-
getting more. You're more upset about this than even like
Yeah.
Star Wars internal battling between.
And Smokey Smokes, I think I was saying more insulting things than he was, because I agreed with like the intellect. It's just a term, intellectual science fiction. Just
I mean,
me
it's all
into
based
like
on.
further
I mean, Star
concept.
Trek has a base in reality. Like,
I
mean, somewhere I have like Star Wars technical manuals that try to explain in science how everything works.
Yeah, and they made that one of the tenets of their series was to make it more about finding new cultures and like exploring the universe and exploring it in a way that was very subtly for its time, innovative and progressive. And
I know where I was going. Star Trek broke ground. I mean, they
Yeah.
had the
A lot
lady
of
that
ground.
eventually became Gene Roddenberry's wife, Majel. I can't remember what her last name was before, but it was Majel Roddenberry after she married Gene Roddenberry. Was the first officer on the original Star Trek. Star Trek was the first TV show that they made a pilot, and the execs at NBC said, or CBS, whichever one it was, said it is too intellectual. You need to make a more action pilot. So the original pilot never aired in its entirety on television. They cut it up later for an episode, but like the original captain of the Enterprise was Christopher Pike.
yes,
And then the lady that I was talking about just now, who eventually became Gene Roddenberry's wife,
Eileen Rexroth.
her name was only number one.
Her name was Eileen Rexroth in real life.
No, that was
Here's
Major.
the- here's the biggest question.
Major Barrett. Major
Barrett.
Major
Brent has a question. Brent, you want to take this one?
What up, Flord? Sure, but does Star Trek have laser sword? Yeah, what do they even have? Like, do they have
All right,
little,
so this
like,
is so funny you
tribbles?
say that. Did Tyler say
Got
that? Because I
tribbles?
was talking to Tyler, and Tyler was like, "Well, do they have lightsabers?" And I'm like, "Well, they have phasers." I mean,
The
so
fuck is a
inherently,
phaser?
Kids
You mean like a blaster, a pew?
like a
pew? We're
blaster.
talking-
They call them phasers.
We're talking.
Real quick,
That sounds kind of nerdier.
real quick before anybody else gets like hot and bothered about this in the Girth gang tonight, it's like, imagine if someone came up to you and said Harry Potter was better than Star Wars, and just imagine the passion that you would attack it with. Like, this is all good. This is like, we're passionate about this. This is like someone trying to educate, not trying to educate, to share
Think
their
about
passion.
this for a second. And I totally agree with you, Mark. I want to get back to the whole source content. I remember when
so angry.
everybody was wondering where Harry Potter sets were because Lego wasn't making them, and Lego was like, "There's no source material. There's no new source material. We can't make new Harry Potter books." There's more content of Star Trek
Yes.
than there is of Star Wars, Harry Potter, Indiana Jones. I mean, probably half or all of the other IPs that Lego has access to. There's more Star Trek content than all of it combined. There is just so freaking much stuff they can do.
It's prolific.
nuts.
It's prolific. And on that note, can I interject with an official opinion from an outside source, please?
Can we know who the outside source is?
Yes, it's Matt Husband.
Okay. Oh, yes.
He's been listening
Matt's
to this.
my buddy.
It's on upstairs because I'm trying to make dinner at the same time and keep coming back down here to get the microphone. So he's been listening to the entire conversation. And what he said is, you are correct. This is going to bring in a lot of new Lego fans, which is great. It's what it did for Lego with Star Wars. And so it's a great
So Matt agreed with. I just want to make sure I got that right. Matt agreed with me, right? Is that what you're
Matt
saying?
agreed with you on that. Yes.
Okay. That's why I like Matt. Tell Matt I say
Brickhead
hi.
Brad says Twilight beats all of this. I don't know if.
Ouch, Brickhead Brad.
All right. So the other thing is, I
Hold
remember
on,
Right.
Brad. I'm
discussion
sorry. Let me-
with former Lego employees about
Steve,
how
can we
they
have
would
control of
never
our show
do
for a second?
Star
Brent?
Trek Lego sets because they do Star Wars. But like I
Steve?
texted.
Steve, hold on a second. Brent, is this the craziest rant we've had on ACOB? It's up
I don't
there.
know. I mean, it's a lot of Star Trek.
We had Walter versus Tyler, which fun. This one's getting real.
I'm telling you, I mean, this is.
Are you even, he's not even mad.
People are going
Really.
to talk about this for decades down the line if it goes half as well as I think it will. This is, I mean, hang on, I'm thinking. Give me a second. What's his name?
I just don't know how
the
I
Wolf
know.
of Bricks was talking about this next year. People are going to talk about forever. And granted, he's just talking about the Lego investing side. But I remember when Marvel and DC came out at the same time, and that was like groundbreaking because before Lego did Spider-Man or they did Batman, they did it together. This, when they release Star Trek Lego sets, it's going to be amazing. I mean, the minifigures. I mean, I've wanted a Star Trek Lego set for like 15 years, and I want the figures too, and hopefully Lego makes them decently. This is just next year's people are going to talk about that for decades to come. I'm telling you.
We need more Lord of the Rings Lego
Brett,
sets.
this is comment of the night right here, macro. Brett, read this.
Thought it would clear up, dude. I
Right,
know.
Here's the deal.
I
I was
wanna
listening to your guys' show a little bit the last time you talked about Star Trek, and I was talking to Tyler afterwards, and I was like, "Yeah, I was bummed out you didn't come on and talk about Star Trek." And I mean, I don't want to put words in Tyler's mouth, but
Picture
it was
Star
something
Trek
like I
never
don't give a
happened.
crap
No one's
about
seen.
Star Trek.
Here's the problem, Steve. No one's even seen pictures of Star Trek. That's a problem.
Oh, you mean the Star Trek Lego sets?
Any of it. This guy is claiming he's
you're
never.
away. Oh, hey, I know what I was going to say about that model that you showed up. That was like a MIDI scale model.
Okay.
I mean,
sorry.
they're going to do a giant UCS Millennium Falcon version. Maybe
Well,
that's like
3,600
of
pieces.
The Enterprise.
Steve, I'm
It's
not
gonna
trying
be
to
Tiny
beat
epic.
you
amount of
up.
pieces.
We do have channel member and good friend Coolhan Luke saying if you started a Lego Star Trek show, he would give that a sub.
You know what? So here's what's really funny. I told you I met and hung out with Gene Roddenberry's son at a convention, and I told him about my idea. I wanted to do a Star Trek podcast about every episode of Star Trek, and we were going to start at episode 1 and watch it straight through. So we'd watch episode 1 of Star Trek and then record a thing about it, and then watch episode 2 and record a thing about it. His company, Roddenberry Entertainment, or I can't remember the name of it, actually copied my idea a year later because I hadn't done it.
Brent, your thoughts on the term
Wow.
Roddenberry Entertainment versus Lucasfilm, just as terms. What do you think?
Roddenberry Entertainment. I've never
It's
heard of
like
it.
a production house. What do you think is a cooler
Well,
sound?
it's not Roddenberry Entertainment. That's not the name of the production house. That's just the
Who
son of the
makes
creator
Star Trek?
little
It's
thing
like
that he
Star
does.
Trek tries to be nerdy on purpose, though. This is weird. You know, like,
I mean,
who-
it is. I mean,
No, but
Star
who with a
Trek is
straight
way
face
more
would say
nerdy than Star Wars.
Roddenberry?
Star Wars is cool. Star Wars is action adventure. There's freaking laser swords.
Yeah, there is.
I mean, I know they're lightsabers, but I mean, when people that don't know what Star Wars is, they
Dude,
call them laser swords.
see, do they have it? Because Skywalker Ranch sounds really cool, you know?
Well, Skywalker? I mean, that's a great name. I mean, in Star Trek, you have
Well, how come
Captain
you can't?
Kirk.
How come you can't be
Spock.
nerdy and cool? Like I like Lord of the Rings, Star
Look,
Wars, Harry Potter.
Mark,
It's
you're
all
on mute.
nerdy, but
You
it's
guys
cool.
continue.
Guys, Mark,
I'm on mute.
I'm not
Wait,
sure.
am I really?
I can't remember how old Mark is, but I grew up
48.
in high school being the Star Trek nerd.
I did not.
It sounds like you have like leftover rage from that, man. It's
I
cool.
was a different type of nerd. So
I can clearly remember people making fun of me all the time.
Yeah, I mean, people made fun of Star Wars fans too. Though.
I have two new opinions to share. One is legal, and we'll start with that one. So we have a new opinion from the government compliance attorney, Matt Husband, and I think this is prescient.
As long as he continues to agree with me, I'm good with that. Because
unfortunately, it is not on your side. So like it'll bring in new Lego fans, but I think the point he made is very good. It's gonna be MCU versus DC. It's going to be like MCU is the Star Wars, Star Trek is the DC, because as much as like DC has tried to like compete with the MCU is more accessible and easier to get to a greater number of people because most of the movies are PG and most PG-13. But Lego's not going to make Suicide Squad sets. So it's like MCU is the Star Wars, Star Trek is more the DC level. It's going to bring.
I agree with that. I mean,
that could be. But I just to that point. What I translated what he was saying was it's not going to be as epic, I think, as you think it is. It'll be epic for the fanboys, yes, but it won't be epic for Lego fans, I don't think. Unless the parts packs are like absolutely amazing. I don't think it will be epic in the way that you think it'll be, except for yourself and other fanboys from Star Trek, which is totally valid.
Man, I feel like Mark just tried to burst my bubble really hard, and
No, I just think it's some reality.
Wrap it up into some reality. My second opinion is that the absolute best IP out there is going to be Animal Crossing because it's based on real life and real interactions, and like people can feel that people can feel the coziness of it, people can feel the love. Family.
I think Animal Crossing is going to be the number
until
one.
Lego made Animal Crossing sets.
I guess that's my point.
Are you saying that I'm not lovey and cozy or whatever you just said?
No. I guess it's just the people's awareness of these IPs, and I think
it'd be interesting to know how big Star Trek is today, because I guarantee you it is way smaller today than it was from years past. Even though, like I said, like a year or two ago, like 2 years ago, whatever it was, there were 5 different Star Trek TV shows on. Mm-hmm. I mean, granted, a couple of them were cartoons, but there was Picard, there was Discovery, there was Strange New Worlds, there was Prodigy, and whatever the other, Lower Decks, all at the same time.
There was a time where the hottest sci-fi property was Battlestar Galactica, and that was a flash in the pan. And so if they tried to come up with Battlestar Galactica sets right now, nobody would care. It's just it's just what survives the test of time.
That's my concern, right?
The other thing I said is this is very valid. I mean, there's no Star Wars conventions other than the officially licensed ones from Lucasfilm, right? Celebration.
Is that right?
There used to be dozens.
Yeah, but I mean, GalaxyCon. I just met Hayden Christensen at GalaxyCon. That wasn't
There seems to be a shortage of those.
So everybody there was all Star Wars. There wasn't a single other property there.
No, there was other stuff there, but
could be invited
Hayden Christensen had lines out
there
the
used to be.
Hayden Christensen was the clear-cut main person over everything else
now
there
look,
at this convention.
And that he was probably the headliner. And I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there used to be. It was Star Trek conventions, and there was nothing else there.
All right, let's cut through the bullshit a little bit here. All right, Steve, we're gonna get serious for a minute.
Okay,
are you saying that Klingons are better than Wookiees? Is that what you're doing right now?
Am I saying what?
Klingons are superior to Wookiees. Is that what you're saying? Right now?
I would say yes, and I would say probably Tribbles are superior to Wookiees too. But
I don't disagree.
Guys, I've never kicked a guest before. What are we doing here? Is this
no.
weird?
Well, here's why. Can you speak Wookiee? Like people actually speak Klingon. Like
people
just in general,
there's languages in Lord of the Rings too.
So what are the metrics that we're
but did somebody make a book that has every word in the English language?
I think they did for Lord of the Rings.
Most of the words in the English language spoken in Klingon. There's audiobooks.
So what are the metrics we're going to judge this on? Like what makes one better than the other?
All right, guys, we got 60 seconds. We're going to go to the next topic. Go ahead.
Right. Oh, Sean, we are not.
No, we are.
We can't do Star Trek for
Listen, we will. Show. I'll tell you what, Steve. We'd love to have you back. We could do a whole sesh on this. We do have a lot to cover. Closing thoughts on whatever it is you're doing.
So
here?
Real quick, I don't know how we're going to be able to tell what is better. I don't know. I mean, like if I had to pick one now, I mean, Star Trek is obviously better than Star Wars. I mean, fan-wise.
I don't know about obviously. How come I never heard
more
of
there? But I mean, if we're talking in a couple of years, I mean, I think that
Nicole is that Mark. He's so hot. Oh man.
There's my friend Nicole.
Maybe not anymore after this rant, Steve.
Team, my friend.
Hey, Nicole. Nicole, are you mad at me?
What's that? No,
Mark's kitchen's on fire.
I'll drop it. I think I've gotten out everything that I wanted to get out.
Steve, I was giving you some gruff there, but we appreciate you, bringing intelligence to this dumb Star Wars community. We appreciate that.
So since we're moving to the next topic, I'm going to remove myself to the green room. I'll come back later if I'm needed.
Okay.
But until then, I'm going to make dinner.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Hey, Mark, it was good. It was good chatting with you.
Good chatting with you as well, sir.
All right. All right. Wow, that's a jolt of energy.
This is a completely different show now.
Unplanned, Brent. I swear, unplanned. That was fantastic. I love those car crashes. I had to wrap it up at some point, but very emotional.
I don't. I
shout-outs
just
to you
like.
for
I mean,
absolutely
like
nothing.
saying Star Trek is better than Star Wars is like saying that like. It's just saying that like, oh, my cousin Johnny plays guitar better than this famous dude that everybody knows and loves about, but I swear he's better and he's has more songs and he's this and that. And it's like, yeah, but
I just want to know the
what does the
sales.
world think?
Well, the cousin, I like your cousin analogy. I do. But I do think there's a little bit of more steam behind Star Trek than cousin, but I don't
Oh,
think
yeah, you're right. I mean, that wasn't the most thought out.
no, I'm saying I
analogy
get
could
your
have made.
point though.
But like the thing is, like I don't how have I lived 30 years and I never knew that any other Star Trek movies existed besides the J.J. Abrams ones?
I'm just saying.
How did I never see
because you're
Star
not
Trek? No,
you
but I'm
lack
30 years old, Sean. I've been in.
intelligence. He's saying you're not intelligent. Is that
Oh,
what-
yeah. Well, I've been in several movie stores growing up when I used to rent Batman movies and Star Wars movies and
Yeah,
all
what do
these
we-
other.
Can you just wrap it up, Brent? There's not much else we can say.
Oh, yeah. You're
No,
right. Probably
I'm-
should just. Well, yeah.
No, I'm saying the show. I mean, how do we top this?
Oh, well. Yeah.
Nicole saying, Brett, you're already you're 30 already? I thought you were-
Yeah, I'm 30. It's crazy. It happened last year. But no, I don't know, dude. Star Trek to me, just every time I saw it was boring. But yeah, we can move on for sure.
Brent, do
Give
you
us
know
more
One
Lord of the
Piece-
Rings Lego.
Do you
all
know
right? Give-
One Piece at all or no?
No, all I know about One Piece is that other people that are into all anime say that it's like super overrated and like yada yada yada. I don't know.
All right, let's get everybody comfortable. This is a bad shot, but we'll pull something else up. Again, shout out to Get Cooped, a tremendous source for.
I've gone 100% Tyler because I didn't know Star Trek movies existed besides the J.J. Abrams ones. I mean, that is a very Tyler thing to say, but I'm being like genuinely honest. Like going in movie stores, like I've known about Star Trek since I
We
was
get it. It's kind of
very
like
young.
what I say about.
Well, dude, like what kind
Avatar.
of like scores were their movies getting on IMDb? Were they even in movie theaters? Like, were they just straight to TV? Like, how did I miss
Dude,
these?
Now you're kind of getting out of hand. Dude, the
I
Star
mean,
Wars it's bigger than what you're saying.
I mean, dude, I've never seen any kind of merchandise or anything for like Star Trek movies. Like I all I knew is that there was an old TV show, and then I think there was another TV show, and then J.J. Abrams movies. But I don't know. They must have not done that crazy good at the box office for them not to be just like around with like
Just 'cause you don't
merchandising
know
and
about-
posters.
I
and
would
shit.
caution just because you don't know about it doesn't mean it didn't do good.
I mean, dude, but like I'm not like a live in the dark kind of guy. Like I like movies and
it always
cinema.
gets down to Star Wars versus Star Trek, but I feel like like we all know
is this
like,
real?
box office wise, and then the defense they play as well is because it's too intelligent. That's why it doesn't do as well.
Oh, is this just the old K2SO?
This is the old K2SO buildable.
I
Let's
got
get
excited
into it.
for a
This
second.
is rumored. Brent, you're a huge Rogue One fan.
Just watched it.
You
just watched it.
You just took it down. This is the buildable figure version. I'm just bringing this up for reference.
Kinda
This is
salty
coming
I
up
don't
here.
have
We're
this.
gonna cleanse the palate. We're gonna get back into Star Wars.
Yeah.
I mean, is it a wait and see? Is there any way on earth you're fired up about this? And then the second
Yeah.
question is, okay, good. And second question is, how's she gonna do at the box office?
I
Like
think good.
you think so? Like, are we talking a lot of D1Bs? What
I
do you
think K2SO because okay, Rogue One was a good. I just watched it. It's perfect time for me to talk about this. I just watched it because my daughter, my 9-year-old, she's watching them all for the first time again, or not again, but just for the first time. She's watching them for the first time again. No, just
She like when everybody dies at the end?
she handled it like pretty well, and like I don't know, she's
Spoiler.
she's seen a lot of movies and things, but yeah. But anyways, a big gripe people had with Rogue One, like, oh, it was great. Darth Vader shows up, this and that. It ties up with A New Hope beautifully. It's like the first Star Wars war movie, but all these characters are brand new, and you kind of come out of it being like, what were the names of some of these people? You know what I mean, Sean?
What on this K2SO or what the characters?
No, I'm just talking about like as far as like watching Rogue One and like coming out of it, like it's hard to really remember everybody's name.
Yes,
You
thank
know
you.
what I
My
mean?
big
But
yes, my
but
big point,
K2SO
you do
is
remember. Yes.
K2SO is arguably like the most memorable
I
because
would agree. I
he's
love that. I
he's
love that take because when I
Mhm,
watched it, my number one complaint is like I liked what I saw,
mhm.
and I'm wondering if it's by design, and I need to go into the rabbit hole. But I didn't care about anybody in that movie, and I'm wondering if they didn't do a lot of character development because they were going to get it in the end, and so they didn't
Mhm.
want us to attach. And if that was done on purpose, like really heady move, and that's cool. But
Well,
like
but then they did a whole show about Cassian.
that was 100 years later. But I'm
Well,
saying, like,
yeah.
I'm saying that was my complaint. Like I'm one with the force is with me, whatever that guy. I'm like, that's all I knew about
Sure.
it. And in fact, when I was recapping the movie with my friend, I was living in New York City at the time. They're like, well, what did you like? I was like, I like a big gun guy was cool, I
Yeah,
guess.
he's Malbus.
Yeah. See, but we know this stuff now, but I'm saying as I described it at the time, I'm like, big gun guy was cool, blind guy
Gun
was
guy.
all right. But I'm thinking, and then Jin was just like vanilla, not even vanilla, that's too flavorful. Like plain,
Yeah, like
you know what I mean? Like
plain yogurt. Plain
yogurt.
yogurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think okay, so I literally just watched it and again, like you would think, okay, put yourself in my 9-year-old shoes. She's a girl, so if you're whatever. From a young kid's perspective, especially a girl, because Jen is a lead female role. You would think coming out of that, because obviously I will say this too, like watching 1, 2, 3, and 4, obviously she's like, where's Leia at? So like she knows of like other, female role Star Wars characters. She hasn't seen the Disney trilogy yet. But anyways, you would think a 9-year-old watching Rogue One would come out of that, especially a 9-year-old girl, and be like, I loved Jen Erso. But no, like who did she like in that movie? Darth Vader and K2SO. Like those were her two that she was like, man, I was really cool with the Darth Vader stuff in the end. And the droid K2SO, he was cool. Like those are the takeaways. So yeah, Jen was, there's a reason why her buildable figure is still on shelves for retail. And I'm salty that I don't have this K2SO one, because honestly, this K2SO buildable figure is sick, but I guess we're about to do a C3PO UCS. Do we know how big it's going to be, Sean? This next set of K2SO.
Do we know how big? I'm sure it's somewhere.
I mean, is it going to be like C3PO status? I mean,
if it's gonna 90, yeah. So that's right.
90?
When I saw this price, I was like 90. So
skinnier though than C3PO, so it could
I'm
still
hoping,
be as tall.
Yeah, I'm hoping for scale-ish, and obviously minus the 10, there's going to be no 25th Annie figure in there. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping that's kind of the.
Yeah.
Steve's a little, I'm chatting with Steve real quick. He's making sure everything's okay. I'm like, Steve, everything's fine. Guys, I think, look, I for one.
Why do I feel like I've met whoever that is, but I didn't, obviously.
I'll tell you who it is later, but you know who it is. But you've only met him once or twice, maybe 3 or 4 times. But the point is, guys, I think as this launch comes up, we've got to get Steve in just in chunks, to come.
Oh my God, dude.
What?
Well, when it actually comes out, yeah, that would be.
No, I mean, like, cool. Even at the 3-month mark.
Well, hey, yeah. How about this though? Yeah, he's the only big Star Trek fan we even know, because they're so scarce. I don't even know any in real life.
Yeah, just get him in to rile some feathers. Everybody,
but Star Trek's so much better.
That
but
was
I
the
know
most
like
comments,
one person that likes it.
That was the most comments we've had over a segment ever. It was like
it was like when you like, I don't know, when you cut the side of an above ground pool.
By the way, a lot of
water
people,
just keeps.
And I will say this: I'd say a good 25% of the gang, Brent was rolling with Steve. You know what I mean? Some Steve fans out there.
Yeah, oh, no, he was cool, but I don't really care about Star Trek. Maybe I would possibly.
That's what happened. I told him, I was like, okay, but people don't care about Star Trek. C3PO didn't have an anti-fig and was more than 100. I doubt it's going to scale. Great point, because I feel like this droid should scale with threeps more than. I'm a little concerned. Yeah,
I hope. Yeah, like if it's going to be 90, I just wish it was 100. Honestly, like. I mean, I don't know. Again, I mentioned it earlier, and like here it is again coming up in the topic. But like, I feel like with the ARC 170, it's like, why is it $70?
Good point, Kulan. I stand correct. I was just looking at threeps as a droid, but I listen. And it's not like they grew up overnight and decided to price these things right. So yeah, guys, I'm afraid. Okay, my bigger concern, Brent, is I would have liked it to scale with the other boys. It's probably sounding like it's not. We have another
90,
one on
it's
the list.
close to being. It's close. It's like it's almost there. Like R2 was 100.
No, I know,
like,
but the problem is Threeps is 140, and he would be,
Yeah.
I believe, or
it's thicker
he would
though.
be. It would be closer in scale to Threeps if we're. I've never seen them side by side, but I'm guessing.
He's thicker though, I think, Sean.
All right,
You know?
prices may vary.
And think about this, like
No, but thickness aside, Brent, we're talking just overall girth and height.
yeah. Yeah. And see, I don't know, like that's weird. Like, so if they're gonna introduce this at 90 and it's gonna be this weird, like bigger than the buildable figures, but not quite in scale with all these droids they've been doing, they're gonna create this weird, like, God, why even do that?
All right, on that same tip, Brent, and this one I have higher hopes for just in general. We got a buildable Ewok coming August 1st. 1,000 pieces, $90 now. Again,
Same price as the K2SO.
however, Ewoks are shorter, right? And I believe they're roughly the height of R2. So this
Mhm.
would work with what I was trying to say earlier.
I wish this would be buildable in the sense of like the buildable minifigure stuff with like the pirate and stuff like that, but I mean it's not gonna be. It's gonna be like a little short. It's gonna look like Chewbacca, but make it shorter. Put some more detail in there for like whatever their tribal outfit is, and then that's what you got. Maybe they'll make it look cool.
I gotta shout out Mike Patton. He's maybe been in before, but like some strong takes tonight. You know what I mean? Mike, shout out to Mike Patton. Hope I'm saying that right, Hayden.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong.
Not gonna lie.
I'm not an Ewok hater, but like for me, it's like I would just rather see something else done. I guess. I don't know.
Jander, it's gonna be tubes, just smaller and some light brown bricks.
Yeah, exactly, Jander. Yeah, I was just it keeps happening tonight. Like I say something and then it happens, or I think it and it happens.
Barley,
But
from
yeah.
the MBS Ewok Village rumor to this, Brent, that is upsetting. We went to the Ewok Villy, the reboot, to this. Are you sad about that?
Well, yeah, man. I mean, this is the thing. Like,
would you have went Villy? I never asked you that. If they did 500 Villy, is there any chance you would have done D1?
Oh yeah, I think so, 100%. Because like that's one of those sets I would really love to get, but I'm kind of holding out for a remake on. Yeah, no, it's just like, don't get me wrong, I like Ewoks. I would love an Ewok Village, but $90 for a buildable Ewok, like I don't know, man. It puzzles me when it's like you could potentially make a lot better decisions with like just the set choices and everything. But it hurts when you have other themes and other stuff coming out that's amazing, like the Black Pearl that we're about to talk about and all this other stuff. But like, I don't know, there's nothing really Lego Star Wars this year that I'm like pumped about. Like the ARC 170 is cool, and I don't even own an ARC 170, so like I'm gonna get it, but I hate that it's only $70.
You wanted it to be a hunch. Yeah.
Why on earth are you going to make a Justifier 170? Think about that, Sean. If the ARC 170 was 170, how cool would that have been? The ARC 170 and it cost 170, like the freaking Justifier.
So my best, I hear you. It is weird. It is weird that they go lesser on sets that they think but it's not. When you break it down to simple economics, my guess is they think they're going to sell multiples of these to people.
Sure.
And like the less desirable it is, they kind of have to charge more because they're going to sell less copies. That's the only but
it's so weird
sense I can make out of it, because
it's so weird that
I hear you. Now, what hasn't been answered is, I hear you on the 1sev. I think that's a bit much, and the scale would be probably crazy on that.
No, 170. 100 would have been perfect.
I know you were saying it for like comedy or whatever.
170 just for the name.
Yeah, it'd be funny for the culture. I get it, but like, A hunch. Tyler said it on the show.
Hunch would have been perfect.
A hunch. You fill it out like an
$30
application.
more.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
All right. Leakomania continues, Brent. Kylo Ren mask. Now, I believe Ryan is, again, I don't think he has direct knowledge of this, and I'm not trying to give him credit or take away credit. But I think he said, like, you know, we don't think they're going to be able to execute on the busted up Kylo helmet. We got Mark back here. Mark, are you?
Oh, hi. I was just sitting here. Sorry, I was just.
No, you're good, Mark.
I didn't tend to be back on.
Mark, how do you feel right now? Are you feeling good about everything?
No, I feel great. I think that was an intense discussion, but I think that the news you guys are discussing now is really fun.
Right.
I'm excited about that. I'm excited about that Rogue One set. I was going to
Choose versus Rogue One. Which one are you more? I'm sorry, Ewok versus Rogue One. Which buildable are you more excited about?
Probably the Ewok, just because it's going to be a better parts pack for the parts that I use. I was going to troll you.
Also, could be an overlord in your Animal Crossing city. I'm just
yes, exactly. I was going to troll you in the chat and say, like, I can't decide which movie is better, Rogue One or Last Jedi.
Oh,
but I didn't do that. So
yeah,
props to me.
Which is a better movie, Rogue One or Return of the Jedi? Probably Return of the Jedi.
Rogue One.
Oh, you think?
Hell yeah.
Sean, what do you think? Rogue One or Return of the Jedi?
Jedi. It's not even close. Come on.
Mark went Rogue One. That surprised me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark's not like a through and through old. You know, he's got levels to him.
Well, no, I just
he's
mean,
got
like,
1 foot in the old.
Return. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Like, Rogue One's really good, but I mean, you know,
I'm one of those pretentious assholes who took like writing classes and judges everything by structure and story and blah blah blah. Anyway,
well,
I thought he said writing class. I'm like, you're a horsey boy. What are you talking about?
Writing, WRITING.
I know, I get it.
Oh, okay, good. But yeah, up to that comment, this mask is.
You're an equestrian on top of all this.
I know, dear Lord. Now I'd get trampled if I tried to ride a horse. I think this.
We need a land member's take on all these. You guys are on fire. Oh.
If this mask is anywhere near what is actually produced, it's amazing.
So I was just saying as you were joining. Well, let's go back to Brent. Brent, of the two, I mean, the dream would be Normie and then sort of the bloody mask variant. Do you agree with that? That'd be.
I think
cool
what would have been cool. Yeah, I think what would have been cool is to get the regular one, and then somehow have, like, you know, put an extra $10 into the budget and make it to where within the last few steps of the build, you can make it look like, you know, have the red cracks in it or whatever. And even if, you know, if they didn't pull off the red cracks so well, at least it's like, okay, it's like a 3-in-1 when like the third build is like, okay, but the main priority build is good. Maybe they wanted to prioritize the red cracks and just focus on it and make them look good. It's interesting. We'll see how
Mark, in addition to being like the Lord of Brick World, you're our resident Mocksmith, I think, on the broadcast. Like, what's going on here? Because I think Ryan was saying, like, it'd be tough to achieve this with just pieces. Is this like a silly string? Like, what are we doing here? Like, he was
the lines around the mask.
I remember what Ryan said. He was concerned about like the execution on the red cracks.
Let me take it up to my bigger screen here with my old eyes.
I really want you to get in the butt on this thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do happen to know exactly what you mean. One
show into ACOB, we're getting canceled. All right,
it does. It does look possible because those are hinges, and so we got a 1x2 bar with 1x2 plate with bar. We got a 1x2 plate with a clip, and it does look like that does fit Lego geometry from this image. What is this image?
So somebody just made this. Now, here's the problem with this one.
Yeah.
The problem is this is a 1-in-1 scale mask. They're not going to do that. This was 5,000 pieces. Jake with a fantastic take. He's saying even the gray stripes are gonna be all stickers. So
possible, or like printed, maybe, hopefully printed.
Mark, if you had one of those helmets in hand, I know you've seen them. They're probably like maybe 6 inches tall. They're not that. Yeah,
they're not very big. Yeah, I have some, but they're just out of reach.
Yeah,
they're about the size of like a 3-year-old's head, not quite an adult head.
Lego helmets, Brent, almost all of them have stickers. Maybe one or two doesn't.
No.
Let me think
maybe
about that.
I don't think Leia does.
TIE Fighter Pilot doesn't. TIE Fighter Pilot is
Yeah, it
printed
does.
everything.
I think it does.
Where?
The
The mouth? I thought the
Yeah.
mouth was all pieces.
Somebody
I'm
help
looking
me
at it,
out
but it's
here,
in the shadows.
but I will bet the farm that 80% of them that have
So
stickers.
tell me again,
Leia
where's,
even has stickers. Okay.
where's the
I sure
rumor
will.
at? What level are we at, rumor wise?
This is happening. Like
This
we
is
just,
happening.
it
Do we
is
have a
happening.
piece count? Do we have a price?
First of all, Mark, a couple things. A lot of reliable sources, and
Price?
also just tons of them, and also 10th year of Force Awakens. So I mean, it's definitely happening.
So price?
Well,
What's-
it's 10th year Force Awakens, but they're doing the red cracked.
No.
from
I'm just
episode
bringing this one up.
9.
Look, everyone else is saying the red. I brought this up because it's one I saw and it looked good. They're probably not doing red crack
okay.
Oh, they're probably not doing
because
that.
this
They're
was
probably
in
sticking
what
with Force
2 or
Awakens.
3 or whatever.
Yeah,
Jedi or
I think they
So-
should do the OG version anyway.
Is part of the leak the price that the set's going to be?
I could find that. I feel like it's 70.
All helmets so far have
Yeah, like
been
70 or
anywhere from
60. So
60
for-
to 80. Because
for
the
these-
Star Lord
For these,
was 80, but that was the most.
I would expect 500, maybe 600 pieces at most.
That's what they're usually around. Yeah.
That's not this. That is not.
No, I know.
no,
All right.
this is a way bigger scale.
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is this
It's not going to
aside.
be. It's not going to have red cracks. It's not going to be this detailed. It's going to be more like the.
Oh, here we go. Here's
Timer
somebody.
went off for dinner. So,
Do your thing. Come
the
back
food-
if you want.
Yeah, I'll definitely be back. I just want to say real quick before I go. So the comments in the chat that were about like Jedi being better than Rogue One because the main characters didn't die. That's why I liked Rogue One because there was stakes, and that's I feel like what was missing for me in Jedi was like there weren't many stakes for what they
This is more
what they
realistic.
accomplished.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll be closer to that on the left for
All
sure.
right.
All right, thanks for having me back on. Put me back in the green room. I'll put
right.
myself back actually.
Enjoy your steaks.
I can do that.
What a ride. All right, Brent, this is probably more fair. What
This is more, yeah.
if this is what came out, what's your stoke level? Because it's probably going to be something more like this.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is all brick built for the little like the lines around the eyes. So it
Which is
gonna be-
encouraging. It can be done. Yeah.
Yeah, it's but also could maybe a mix of both be achieved, especially if they're going to do a mix of both brick built and hopefully not sticker. If it was a print, it would flow better probably if they try to do like brick built and then have prints. Yeah, I don't know. I hope they pull it off. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I posted the meme earlier where it was like Joey like smiling, looking at like 20 year anniversary of Revenge of the Sith, and then it showed 10-year anniversary of of Force Awakens, and he had that like surprised look on his face, like, oh god.
Dude, I would have, this comes up, Brent, you already know this about me in ACOB lore. The Bloody Finn helmet is probably my favorite helmet of all time.
Oh yeah.
We're not ever probably going to
Well,
get that.
so
if we got a
hopefully,
first
Sean-
order, no, if we got a first order version and then
That's what I'm saying. Just
somebody made a sticky or whatever, I'm fine with that.
not even that, dude. Just I mean, find one on clearance, buy it for $40, put some red paint on give like Harlow, because Harlow's hand would be in scale. Because
Yeah.
if you did your hand, it would be like the whole thing. Have Harlow just, hey, you want a face paint? Dip in some paint. Just give me a swipe. There you go.
Yeah.
You get it on a little $30
Putting an
clearance boy, you don't
APB
do
out
it.
to the Girth gang. Can somebody mock up? Is that a
First order Stormy?
if we
Yeah.
can get a first order stuff? It's probably going to happen though, right, Brent?
Yeah.
Maybe. Like
Maybe.
not this year. It doesn't feel like it.
Yeah. I will say this,
Finn-
though,
Mini figure May 4th would go. So the spend threshold could be 350. Brent, I would not spend $1,000 to get 3 of them. I would just get one and then buy 2 extras. I would go so hard on a Finn bloody helmet fig. Oh my god,
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
like one of my top. If people ever say to me like, "What are the top?"
Someone's got to make a custom of that somewhere.
I've seen the helmet done, and I should just do that and scratch the itch and not get crazy. But yeah.
I will say this though, I do gotta push it on time a little bit.
All left from the Star Trek thing.
Oh yeah, he's back now.
Alright.
Star Trek stuff.
All right,
now.
let's close this one out, Brent. Final thoughts on Kylo helmet. I think it's going to be
No, I'm
mid,
stoked for it.
unfortunately. I just don't.
I hope it'll look good, but yeah, I feel like it'll look not the best, but we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah.
It feels like one of those decisions where, like, don't get me wrong, it's Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren is my favorite, and I feel like kind of the flagship character from the Disney trilogy. But it does feel like one of those things where, like, okay, like the Darth Vader helmet, right? People were calling it like Chipmunk Vader. Could have maybe been done better, but it's still selling, right? Still on the shelves. It's not retired yet.
Vader? Yeah.
Yeah, but with Kylo, it's like
Would
I
have
don't
been
want
the
to say
longest
niche,
too.
but it
I
is.
feel like
It is.
Vader
It's got to be
and
good. You know what I mean?
Vader and Bobes, right, have probably done the best.
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel like they've had the
Well-
most. Oh, Mando. Mando's been out for friggin'
Well,
ever.
Mando, yeah, of course. But like, I'll say this though, like even like like the Bausch, the Boosh helmet, whatever, Boosh, the Leia helmet. Now, don't get me wrong, everybody loves Princess Leia, but it's a character that she was kind of posing as, right? But I feel like that helmet did decent, not only because it was an exclusive and kind of harder to find, but it was just done so well. Same thing with the Scout Trooper. Like the Scout Trooper is a little less known than like your normal Stormy,
Yeah.
but it was done so well. So I feel like when you do a character that isn't as popular, you can't really rely on that. So you're like, you really got to execute and make it good. You know, when you're doing something based off of something that's a little less known. So, but yeah, I don't have too much time left in me though, Sean, because my phone is on 10%. Plus, I
Right.
gotta get some sleep soon-ish. But I probably got at least like
All good.
20 minutes ish.
All right, all good. Another big rumor coming out. We've got the Separatists, MTT. Brent, you've seen the big brown boy 1,000 times. It seems like we're gonna get the blue variant here.
I kind of wish we were getting
tremendous.
the.
I just feel like we already know what's going to happen. I can already forecast the complaints. It's going to be smaller in
It's gonna be
scale.
small. It's only gonna. It's
We're not
only
gonna
gonna house.
get, how many, look at this. How many BDs are we getting here? 1, 2, 3, 4. This is showing 8. We'll probably get like rows of 4 or something. You know what I mean? Like,
Dude, I'll
I think
tell
it's
you
gonna
what.
look
Like,
cool. It's going to be compact, is my guess.
so the one from back in the day that was the biggest one they ever did. It actually held like a good amount of droids. Guarantee you, this will be downscaled. Instead of something that holds like 2 rows of 6 and you're like 12 droids, it's gonna have like 4 in there. Not 4, but maybe 8. Like, I don't know. It's not. It's gonna be underscaled, unfortunately. No, is there a rumor on price at all?
Yeah.
Oh, there is.
Yeah, there is. Was it 150?
Okay, 150 gives me hope.
No, hold on. Let me check.
I would hope that it would be 150.
Let's see. Somebody in the gang, let me know. I wanted to say it was 150. I'm trying to check.
I wonder if we're gonna get some other
Cooper
droids.
for a tremendous spreadsheet here. I'm just trying to figure out when it was.
150. Cooper says August 1st.
There it is. I got it right.
Okay, so 150 gives me hope.
Now,
I like
obviously, the next $150 question is the figgies. We know we're going to get some battle droids. Coop, any new updates? Even if it's just predictions and you don't know anything, that's fine. What are we thinking on the figurinos coming with this besides the BDs? Curious.
I mean,
150, 800-ish pieces. Yeah, I do feel like it's going to have a lot of big chunky boy pieces, so I would not expect a 1,500 piece build.
Man, it would be really cool to get like just some other droids we haven't had in a while. Any of the other droids. I mean, some super battle droids. I mean, they already gave them to us in a battle pack. I could see them probably throwing some of those in here too. It'd be cool to get Sean, it'd be cool to get like a because if the budget's 150, you know, say they put $130 of the budget into the build, it'd be kind of cool if they gave us like some kind of other side droid, like a crab droid thing or a spider droid thing or any of those other kind of little smaller little droid creature things that they got.
I agree. And look, for a topic this
There's room
important,
for that.
For a topic this important, we really needed a SME. Do you know what a SME is, Brent?
SME?
A subject matter expert. We got the one and only.
Oh, there you go.
Celebrating 2025 in the right way. M&R Productions, welcome back.
Wait a minute, I'm not a
There you
random
go.
Redditor.
Oh, well, no. Listen, you're
Ryan,
You want a
you're
how many
subject
droids
matter
is this gonna
expert,
hold?
you're going to need to go there.
You're the resident
How many
complainer
drawers
guy.
does it hold? I don't know exactly. That's what I'm telling
How many
you.
do you think it will?
Oh, what did
You
they
like my
have in
eight
the last one?
prediction?
8?
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Is 8 the
12?
most ever?
12 if we're lucky. No, the first one was 16.
Okay, yeah, I knew
In
the
the-
first
in the
one was
rack.
a lot.
It was like
God, what
8
was that
per,
like to get 16 of anything?
16, dude.
I don't know. I was 10. I don't remember.
I know,
It
but
was probably a good feeling though.
Jesus. Ryan, welcome to the show. Now you were you were sending me some stuff. Were you at a Lego store earlier tonight, sir?
I was.
And you made a purchase. You want to share that, or is it for a video?
I knew you'd ask.
I
I bought
wanna
the
know
Marvel
why.
logo
I want to
the
know
Marvel
why.
because there's
logo.
going to be a Star Wars one.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
So
So
I
well,
got to
why
have
the
the
logo?
Marvel one when the Star Wars one comes out, so I can tell you how bad the Star Wars one is with reference. So I mean,
Ooh, there you
I
go.
have become a bit cynical in that. I hope the Star Wars one isn't bad, but I mean, the Marvel one's pretty good, and I don't have high hopes every time anymore for Star Wars. So
Now, Ryan, can you? It'd be funny you put that like in your as a constant in your background would be really funny. Like just like
probably not, but I think
celebrating.
I will do a video of it on its own. I think it's cool enough. It's the peak of. I've seen some people describe it as like the peak of consumerism. Like you're buying a logo of the thing that you already buy sets of.
Yeah.
I'm shocked they haven't sold a Lego logo. Has to be next. I would actually like that though. I think it'd be dope.
Oh yeah, Lego logo.
Oh, just
Now,
like art style, just a
especially-
big square. Yeah, I don't know why they haven't either. People
Well,
would
especially if they could have some fun with the Lego logo and actually make it like a mosaic kind of thing and just use a bunch of random parts instead of just like making it like tiled off and stuff.
Sure.
But I mean, they could go either way with it, and it'd be cool.
So Ryan, I did off air challenge you to either yourself or one of the thousands of minions that people think you have.
Minions.
Make
That's full price.
Make-
Jones. That
make a Star Wars version and have like clones exploding out of it, because the Star Wars sign I think is pretty much, it's not confirmed. I know we don't like to use that word, but the Star Wars one's just going to be logo only, right? As far
That's
as we
the
know.
rumor. Yeah.
no
Do you
figs.
think
That's
it
so
deserves
weird.
the explosion treatment? And if you were going to make 5 figures or whatever it is explode out of it, what would
The
you
like.
think?
Okay, the bright side of no figs is like, let's say they did include figs. All right, cool. Darth Vader, Sandboy Luke, C-3PO, and R2-D2 again. Cool. Like honestly,
Right.
like it almost doesn't matter.
Bloody
other
helmet,
than like the
Finn?
Marvel one had figures. I don't know.
Ryan, would you like a
we'll
bloody
see.
Finn helmet figure?
That'd
Would
be
you?
cool. They
you'd buy
never
that,
they
right?
never do it. They remove blood from all the figures now. They used to put blood in some of them, and now they won't do it.
Star Killer.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to bring up a topic that's related very much to 2025 leaks. Ryan, I'm deeply concerned of the lack of OT sets for the box office. Have you noticed there's a stunning lack of rumored OT sets this year? And if you were the CEO and it's too late now, you can't do the lineup for 2025. Is there a big hole in that atmosphere for you? As
I feel like that big hole is plugged by $1,000 spear.
is that it? Okay. So no, but I'm saying, so all the olds are supposed to just sit out every month, and I'm glad this went this way. All the olds were just supposed to sit out and be like, "Nah, that 100 could have went, but I'm not buying the clone shit, so I'm gonna put it towards the Death Star."
I don't even think about that honestly. So
Do you? Is this the least amount of OT stuff in a year that you can recall? I'm looking at it. Hold on.
like the home one.
We got
that
home
was
one,
only
which
one.
which is like a asterisk at best.
Oh come on, that's as original trilogy as it gets. You can't asterisk the home one.
It's not as that is not as original trilogy as it gets. Settle down. All right, AT-AT helmet, Ewok. All right, hold on, we're making a comeback
Oh,
here.
Ewok.
The ATS to UCS.
All
You're
right.
getting 2 UCS sets in 1 year.
Well, as we
Oh,
rightfully
yeah.
should. Okay.
Basically 3, because who knows with Django Slave 1, they could pull a 180 and be like, well, you see about it's still the same shape.
Dude,
Well, dude,
was
that
your
is really
all-time
that's
meltdown
crazy. That
video, Ryan, of all time.
Oh, they never. I mean, obviously they never do something
I
like
remember
that.
texting
but-
you when I first caught wind of Django, and you probably knew about it or didn't or whatever, but you were like, why would they do so? Your answer was like, why would they ever do something that cool and right, is what you said to me. When I said, I'm hearing,
I'm very cynical now. It sucks.
you were like, there's no
Not
way.
my fault.
You said, why would they ever do something that cool? I'm like, I don't know. It's
well, that is kind of crazy.
There's a
to
few
think.
things this year that hit that level of
yeah.
Yeah.
Like and a positive what the F thing. Brent, your thoughts? I mean, very little OT. I mean, comparative.
okay,
I'll have to
so-
look at it, but I feel like it's a low OT year.
Okay, yeah, but what I was just getting ready to say is you feel like it's a low OT year, but like the great point by Ryan that both of the UCS sets are still original trilogy. That's crazy to think about. It's like, can we get one? Can we please? Like, we had the gunship and that was it. And like, that
You're
was
getting
how
one.
that
What
was.
are you talking about? You're getting the freaking Django.
A
Oh,
low,
we had the Venator. We had the Venator. Sorry, we had the Venator.
You're getting
This-
a Django.
this low OT year is like the Patriots going 12-4 in 2017,
Oh yeah, It's like-
but
You're a
losing in the
Patriots
Super
fan.
Bowl.
Yeah.
This is nonsensical.
it's like when people are like LeBron had.
It's
an
like,
off
man, they
game.
lost 4 whole games. Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
Like,
LeBron had an off game, but he went 22-7-7 still.
All right.
Like,
Ryan, without looking it up, just tap into that brain of yours. During peak Clone Boy eras, you know, these wacky rumored years of your golden era, was there still more than 5, would you say, OT sets in a given year? Like when it was like heavy Clone Wars series stuff. I don't know, pick a year, or 20.
2009, Darth Vader's TIE Fighter. You had that Ewok Village. Not Ewok Village, the Battle of Endor set.
The bunker.
It's not. Yeah, the bunker. What else came out that summer? There's a lot of Clone Wars sets. The Venator.
Was the
The Battle
calamari
Packs for
set that
Clone
year?
Wars. Yeah, that was that year. You're right. I mean, probably not as many. Like I would imagine it was less, but I also think like they were making less sets each year then, so it's hard to compare 1-to-1. But yeah, if you do percentages, I don't know. 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 set. Yeah. So let's just assume 5 sets is it. Is it concerning? No.
no.
No, but I'm
if
saying
it-
concerning if you're like a bean counter there. I don't know. I mean, all right. Should
Okay.
we-
All right. Hold on. Time out.
Can we give logo?
I was at the Lego
50%?
store.
Hold on. Should we give the logo probably at least 50%? Because I feel like OT heads are going to buy the logo probably more.
Well,
Sure,
yeah.
the logo should count. Okay, so the at the Lego store, like the bean counters mean nothing. Like go on the Amazon and look at the sold numbers for like what's
Oh, you're not gonna
sold in the
wanna
last
see
month because there's some high numbers. I know that some of the battle packs were like 30,000. I was kind of disgusted because they aren't that good. But
all right.
and this is obviously just a U.S. Amazon. This doesn't apply to like Lego stores in
I feel
person,
like it's-
etc.
but I
But
feel like
it's the only data we have, so you can only extrapolate. Anyway.
Ryan, as I've said, who's someone who's in this and does have to extrapolate that for all parts of my business that I do in real life, it's it's very close to what you'd see at
Sure.
brick and mortar. So I
Yeah.
think it is.
You can only. It's the only data we have, so you can only
Do you
imagine.
agree that's
Oh, it makes
probably
sense.
largely equal to what you'd see in store? I do. I mean,
Right.
know.
I don't know like exact numbers, but like percentage wise, I would imagine it has to be about the same, right? Like it just like okay. So here's top left, Ahsoka Starfighter. I'm at the Lego store. Kid walks up to the guy's got the cart restocking the
I
shelves.
don't have
not even near
sales
the-
numbers here,
Hold
unfortunately.
on, I know you don't. I'm not. That's not my point.
Okay,
Hold
okay.
on, we're getting there. The guy's got the cart. He's got a bunch of like the Ahsoka Starfighter stacked up and a bunch of other sets. Some little kid comes up and asks, "How much is this one?" Probably like 6 years old. Turns to his mom. They say $45. Turns to his mom, says, "Do we have enough?" She says yes. He buys it. That's it. Like there's no consideration to it. There's no like I guarantee he doesn't.
Did you
have
look
a
at him
clue.
like a asshole for doing that or no?
No, I'm just like I've started to, like when I'm at the Lego store, it's fun to listen in on what people say because I hear
Oh,
someone
yeah.
else walk up to the UCS Falcon like, "Isn't this limited edition and retired?" And I'm like, "Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
brother!"
Yeah.
Like it's been out for 7 years. It is not limited edition. It's not retired.
Brian,
But it's
this is
fine, like, it's
probably
not
an
like a
hour
bad thing.
combo.
It's
You
just
don't have that much
interesting to hear.
time, but should we talk about? Is it just the hardcores thinking everything's too expensive? Like, what's your take on that?
Everything at the Orlando Lego store sold out before Christmas, and I know they ain't putting jack all on sale. And the like
That's an extreme Disney vacation one.
I
We gotta
know.
go to middle. We got to go to Columbus,
okay,
Ohio, for example.
here's my other thing. Most sets still at Target, Walmart, etc., are generally sold out. However, like the topic kind of recently has been like, is
Not
Star
Christmas.
Wars
You
not?
got your get seasonality out of there. That's a
Well,
big
I'm-
thing. I'm talking normies, whatever you want to call it, casuals. They're
Everyone, okay. I
You know
don't.
what
I
I'm
can't.
saying.
I can't have this conversation because everyone always says everything is overpriced, and it's been like that for 15 years. And I don't have a basis in reality there. Like it's the same. Like I do think it is worse now than before. And I bought the tumbler, and I'm going to do a video on that. And I think that's a good example. But but
The
it's been the same
60/40.
conversation for 15 years, so it's hard for me to
Well-
know to like really have a grasp on that because it's the same thing by everyone every time that it's too expensive, and it's like
I know you're.
I do
like,
think it's
on
worse
that in
now.
general, but I feel like the barking on pricing, at least since I've been around, has gotten like a lot more for.
That's what I'm telling you. It's louder, but I don't like.
Okay.
It's the same. Maybe just more people are like, fuck it, I'll talk about that instead of complaining about quality.
And you've noticed that
You know?
land is like, it seems like they're permitted. And Shy, a good friend of all of ours, has said they have not given them notes to say it's okay to say it's overpriced. I don't know that that's happened, but it seems like that is the one thing everybody's allowed to call out. And I almost think like if it was pre-planned, I think like you're basically saying like something's luxurious, so that's not hardly a knock to me, right? Like you're kind of saying like everybody says like Mercedes, whatever, all these, you know, big brands, Gucci, whatever, they're all expensive, we all know that. So like I think they're probably comfortable with that, but like I don't know, man, I'm just hearing the barking on that, and again, until it happens at the box office, so to speak, at the register, time will tell. I also felt like there was more sale, especially on Star Wars this year, than I've seen in the past, and early.
There's a lot more sales across a lot of stuff.
And I'm not just talking the 20%, Ryan. There was some deep stuff. Like there were some big mistakes made. So it's going to be interesting. Mistakes in terms of set, choice, price, whatever you want to call it. All right, let's get into sales numbers. You were talking about that. Here is something that Brent, I was talking about this with you earlier. You got the ISD 10,000 bought at 160. Now, Ryan, I imagine there was probably a 120 at some point in the last month. You know,
no, I think that was further back. I think that was further back.
You think?
Yeah.
I think the sale on it was more than a month
straight?
ago.
All right, well, let's rock
Yeah.
with that.
Go on Camel. You know that site?
Yeah,
You gotta know that site.
No, of course.
I think it was more though.
Let's go with face val here. Let's see. We got 10,000 units at $160. $1.6 million worth of ISDs they've sold. And then we've got the clone and droid battle pack 30,000 at $24. All right. So
If Lego.com
less than half the revenue on the clone droid battle pack on these two.
Camel doesn't even show out here. Yeah, it doesn't even show Amazon having the price discount. I don't even know how that's possible.
Well, Black Friday, to your point, Black Friday, whatever, Prime Day.
But yes, it was older.
Yeah, it was older. So they factually made more on the ISD than they did the clone battle pack, despite selling 3x the amount there. And then
go to the Ghost. The Ghost is
it was
bombing.
670 is what I said. R2D2, even at 85, which Ryan, I believe this is a new phenomenon. This is the first time I've seen the R2 2025 disc-keyed like this. You're looking at
now. People are taking note that like Lego and now there are sales that are outliers to this, but there are areas like this where they're 15% off, not 20. I don't know what's going on, but I part of me thinks it's some grand conspiracy that all these companies are in on it, and it's like, well, this and Lego's like, hey, this set we're doing 15, not 20% across the board, because why else would it be 15%?
I can tell you
everything
right
is
now,
standard 20.
Yeah, well, people are tightening up. Here's the general deal in boardrooms as of the last quarter of this year. The 20 people are moving away from. 10 is not enough. I always talk about jerking the wheel, and that's a very old school term where you're driving down the road and you're like, there's a 10% off sale. You're like, 20 is like people will immediately pull over and go see what's going on. 15 is like that nice middle ground, and I think that's what you're seeing here. I know that's a very like obtuse sort of take, but that's kind of, I think, what's happening here. They're like, can we get it done at 15? Let's not jump to 20. My point is OT R2D2 set, is it? I don't know. It could be considered anywhere, I suppose, but 850,000 in revenue, again, still making more than the clone trooper and droid battle pack set.
Well, I think it's much more useful to compare like similarly priced sets and their sales numbers, and like I understand what you're doing, but I also
like 30 and 40,000 sales sets.
No, I know, but like
okay,
let's compare like apples to apples here.
All right.
Or at least like the problem somewhat is that like it almost doesn't exist sometimes. But let me see what I can
All right.
find. So here's a good one: the Acclimator assault ship, brand new, 900 sold, and then the Home One. Let's see if I can even find it. Not showing up on the front page here. Home One. The Home One has sold 400 in the last month.
And like I said earlier, when I say it barely counts as an OT set, that's what I actually meant. Is it's not recognizable, so that doesn't surprise me.
Well, I mean, they already did the Falcon and the Super Star Destroyer, and
Okay, but I'm saying if they did a mini X-wing, you know,
okay,
that
but
would've
that's
sold.
not what mini
but-
scale is. That's not,
What do you
doesn't
mean?
fit
They did a play scale Falcon. They did a midi scale Falcon. Why can't they do a midi
well,
scale?
a mini
Why?
scale. It just doesn't work
It would end up being just too small almost.
unless you're doing like a $20 midi scale set. Yeah, like
Yeah.
that's not really what midi scale is for. But
Be
I'm
like
not
if you-
opposed to the idea.
Well, you
of
get
it
what I'm
happening,
saying
but-
in general. I think.
It would be like if you took a
what's it
I'm not
Microfighter
saying it
X-Wing
wouldn't sell
and-
better, but like the Acclimator is objectively a very niche episode 2 ship.
Yeah.
And the
I'm
Home One is
surprised at that
equally a
result.
niche
I'll give you that.
original. I am too.
I'm surprised at that result. Yeah.
I'm not. Now that I really think about it, I'm not. But the Home One is a really nice set, and I don't understand how it's selling so few. But yeah.
Clone Boys at six. I'd say they've largely been 16 this whole way. 20,000 bought.
Yeah. Well, which depending on the one, the 332nd dropped to like
320,000.
12 at one point,
320,000.
or maybe just 14.
$840,000 sold in the Millennium Falcon. This is a nice number here. 1.8 million in Dark Falcon sales.
Let's see.
1.8 million.
Mm-hmm.
So interestingly, by comparison, you've got the Mando Battle Pack has 10,000 sales compared to obviously the prices aren't 1-to-1, but 10,000 compared to the 20,000 of the clones.
Ryan's favorite set of the year so far, the Grogu Hover Pram.
That is a nice one. Only 1,000 is crazy.
100,000.
The Grogu hype has
Yeah.
settled.
Maybe that'll sell all year though. Every little kid's gonna want that all year for
Yeah.
their birthday and for Christmas.
And then
Yeah.
it'll be out for 2
Next
years.
Christmas, that'll be a 10,000 sold. Yeah, when the movie comes
The
out.
movie
yeah.
hype ratchets
Oh
up.
yeah, I forgot. Yeah.
Oh, the helmets are probably fair. So you've got the Mando helmet at 10,000, Rex helmet at 10,000. Let's see. Let me just put in helmet so I can just look at helmets.
Sean, my
That's
phone
probably-
is about to die any second, so if I drop,
All right. Brent, real quick, give your pickups.
Vader 10,000.
oh god, pickups. Okay, I didn't get anything on June 1st, but I got clearance stuff. I got the McLaren 2-pack for $16. I got this botanical set for 44. I think it's retired, right? Or it's gone. Or
Yeah, it's
hard
like
to get
80
ish.
normally.
Yeah, so I got that for $40. I got a battle pack for $9. I got this for sub 60. I got it for 59. That was pretty cool.
Underrated.
This I got a while ago, but I did get it on clearance for like 35 maybe.
Crazy that was 60 or whatever. Yeah.
I know. And I got this for $6. It's not Lego, but the kids will think it's cool next year for Christmas. It was $6 Brickcraft things that were at Walmart.
All right. Well, Brent, get some rest, dude.
Yeah, that's it. Oh,
appreciate
my,
the-
I don't know if I ever said, but my Ninjago City Gardens came in the mail, even though it said it was back ordered till like late this year, like all the way until like late January initially. But I got it on the deal and everything. So, yeah.
All right,
But yeah,
brother.
Mark, if you're out there, Mark, come back in and fill my spot, Mark. I know you're sitting there eating dinner, listening.
All right. Get some rest, man.
Peace, guys.
Dubs in the chat for Brent, guys.
Later, chat.
Thank you, bro. All right. Let's get back into these nums here. 450,000 in Droidica. Hey, 450,000 in Droidicas is pretty good. ATTE, click to see price. I don't like this.
I hate that. I don't understand why.
It's Lego. It's the
I
brand.
know, but it doesn't make any sense.
The
Like
brand
how
does
it's
it.
sometimes like that, and it's never even that crazy of a discount.
Ryan, you've seen there's 3 levels though. You got price, you got click to see, and then you got add to cart. There's 3 different levels. That's someone's like deeply concerned about their value sort of being eroded.
Hey, that would be the resellers, the scalpers.
Well, Lego cares pretty passionately about that.
I know, but people on Reddit don't want to hear it.
510,000 in TIE bombers.
You got to say the numbers. I don't care. I don't care how much dollar value.
You should. That's very relevant.
Well, I know, but it's
all right. A 10,000
doesn't-
what? 10,000's nice, and that's not even that deep of a disc.
10,000's a lot. That's 20%.
I don't think it's gone much lower than 51. Like as far as like,
It really shouldn't. It's a good value. It's a good set.
all right, here it is. 450,000. Again, I like this better for me, but yeah, the Acclimator. Look at that. It's weird they're showing the stat on that versus the Soki. I feel like they've all been on pre-order. Maybe they.
I think that's Is it not 45,000? Am I wrong?
Yeah, what did I say? 50 times 900. Yeah.
Yeah, $45,000. Pocket change.
Oh,
Quite
right.
literally.
You're right. It's not 9,000. I'm sorry. It's 900. Okay. 180,000 in Mando BPs. Bob 310,000.
I just side note, as we wind down on this, I find it super interesting to see what go up a little. Retire just one section up.
Right here. One more.
Retired set, just the one section. Yeah, go back down to that one. Perfect. The fighter tank, 6,000 sold, retired set.
Yeah, dude.
Absolutely insane.
At 15 over retail too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine how much it would cost if it weren't for all those people out there reselling it.
Yeah.
So that's absurd though. And there's
That's
a lot
money
like
on the table. Why do you think they pulled plug on that one? I feel like it was steady. That's weird.
I mean, you can't sell everything forever, and the clones didn't have helmet holes, so they had to get rid of those helmets. They had to get rid of the last good helmets.
I know you'd go cynical first, but it still doesn't chalk up.
Unironically,
I never saw.
They
Ryan,
probably
did
got
you
rid
ever
of the
see-
mold.
Besides Lego Store, I never saw more than 2 to 3 on a shelf at any time during that run.
Of that set,
Maybe a Target.
they were Black Friday deal. They were Target exclusive Black Friday deal
I
at
know, I'm
Target.
talking on
$25.
shelves, though.
They had like 100. I went in the stores.
Okay, well,
You must not have been there, but
on
they
shelf.
were there.
I was California at the time. I guess things sold more briskly.
All right, scroll down a little because you got 900 Venators, and then a little more we got to see the next numbers. 900 Venators, 1,000 Falcons, obviously out of stock, so hard to know, and the sail barge must have just got there. What about the Razor Crest? $400. Razor Crest is bombing. And it's on sale.
It's also been out for
A year longer, but
a year longer.
I mean, it should retire this year.
It's blown up too. Did you, Ryan? Did you see the?
I did.
The scale.
I can't believe that's only at 2,000. That set should be outselling the Ghost. I don't understand the Ghost. I like the Ghost. I think it's a phenomenal set, but so is the Onyx Cinder, and the Onyx Cinder is super relevant right now. The fact that it's not really moving yet is kind of sad.
Do you feel like it turned into? Do you like that it turned into a Sith infiltrator or no?
I thought Sith Infiltrator, and then when you see it from the back, I kind of thought U-Wing a little bit, but yeah,
That was
both.
interesting.
So
Well,
now
at
I
least
can
they
do a
sell us the second
retrospective
one.
on the set.
Now they can sell us a couple of them.
Wow, Yoda only moving 1,000 Yoda units. I thought just
Where's Yoda?
being Yoda
Oh,
right there.
yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
just being Yoda would move. That is not it. That is
Yeah.
not moving.
Yeah, 28,000 and yeah,
1,000 sold, not 28,000 sold for anyone listening. $28,000.
$28,000.
I know, but
It's very important, Ryan. You need to understand.
I know you're saying these numbers like you're in a boardroom. We just got to go with numbers sold so that everyone's on the same page.
Well, I think it's relevant. Obviously, the higher dollar sets are going to sell less most of the time.
I know, but I'm not comparing that in a bad faith way. I want to compare similarly priced sets to each other. What's the gunship at there? Down a little bit.
700. None of
It's out of
those.
stock though. Yeah, hard to hard to gauge. 10,000 on the N1 though. Maybe Mando still is strong somewhere.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see those. I guess it hasn't sold enough to even populate, but the little 4+ set must be like 83 sold in the month.
Here we go. Very retired at this point. Ty from
that's crazy.
21, $60, 2,000 baht. Again, prices might vary on that.
And this is why Lego's prices aren't too high.
Yeah. 80.
Look at all these people on Amazon paying well over retail.
The cheapest way to get an X-Wing, $80, 1,000.
Oh, UCS AT-AT?
Where's that? Oh. Mando set that was just clogging shelves, still moving 2K. That's interesting.
That must have sold out.
Ryan, this is interesting. The 50 AT-AT sold, which is, I feel it has been in retirement mode for the last month. I don't know if you're hearing, but they are trading around like, I don't know, $1,300 to $1,600 now. Are you at all surprised by that post-retirement?
It got up fast.
Yeah, it did.
I warned people in like February.
Grab like 5 of them. I mean, the problem is the shipping for something like that.
Nah, but if you're selling them, if they're gonna get up to like 2,000, I don't know. I need to start taking it more seriously. Clearly, I could have bought
50,
100 of those. I would have thrown any amount of money in knowing it's gonna double in 3 weeks. Shoot, Yep.
Let's see.
400 Chewbacca's. Rest in peace.
And that was definitely 40 to 160. I know, but 140 to 160 on promo. I feel like throughout.
Yeah, it was also on sale, but I don't know when it ended.
Dude, Young Jedi, even with it's been
that clearance.
It's been 20 on Amazon for the last week. I feel like, and it's still. Are you slightly surprised? Girthy Boy R2 is still holding in with 700 with the.
I don't know if it was available. Like they just retired it, so I don't know. It must have.
Yeah.
It must have been available.
Cody, I feel like got into the 40s, which may have bumped it to 900. Straight up,
I have one.
Go ahead.
Not when you have all those people buying UCS AT-ATs, but I have one set I want you to look up before we move on. The tumbler, the Batman tumbler, Lego tumbler. I want to know how many sold.
All right. OG or new one?
Scroll, I assume both. So 500 bought at $100, and the new one is $60. But the old one was $40, and the old one is bigger than the new one by a very substantial amount.
So I watched in depth on it. A lot of figures better in the new, probably, and also more detailed, even though smaller.
Yeah.
I still like by the way, I like the OG way more. It's girthier. You know me. I mean,
people will say it's more minifig scale, which is great, but that if it's smaller, it should be cheaper. Period. Like no, I know I'm not.
Is that true though? Even with like more detail, it's got more. It's
the builds are like the same density. The thing is just tiny.
Yeah,
which is fine. I'm not against the size of it necessarily. It's just the price.
Yeah,
the price is nuts. So, all right. What else we got? Because I don't have 2 weeks to hang around.
We're kind of covering leaks 25. We went through a lot of the Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, no, the new one can only seat one. Well, also it has like a weird. I just built it today, so it's got a weird space at the back because of the Batman, or because of Batman's cape, which is not cloth.
Let's see. All right, let me bring up our new favorite emerging leaker, Ryan. We got
get cooped.
Yeah, very tiny. Let me see if I can figure. Any set you want to zero in on, whether we talked about it or not, from the list of things we know. I wanted to ask you this because I don't think I even texted you this. Night Trooper Battle Pack. Do you think we're going to get like 2 or 3 both the same all the way through, or do you think we'll get variants with the different bandage wraps and all that stuff? Is there a chance? Because they have done. There's a precedent, right? They've done.
I was trying to think.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
They've done it with some rebel troopers. Some people pointed out resistance, a couple others. Not like old school, like not the rebel fleet troopers, but like resistance. They've done it. There's a couple. All I'm asking for is a slight variant with the bandages, at least on the torso. Do you think that's happening, or do you think we're going to get 2 or 3 of the exact same that we got in the what was it, the Peridia set? Do you think we're getting those just again, or what do you think?
What do you mean exact? There's no exact same. Oh, they are the night troopers, not. You're right.
That's what I'm saying.
And
So
I hope they're
3
not
more
the
of the
same.
one we got in Peridia.
I would imagine both of the night troopers are different, and then the death troopers are, while new, both the same. That would be where my money's at.
2 and 2.
Well, yeah, but like the 2 death troopers aren't different from each other, and the 2 night troopers.
They don't need to be like factually, right? But if you look at the night troopers, they all had variant shit.
It'd be cool if one of the did one of the. No, I'm thinking of Star Wars. What's the book with the death troopers?
I'm not counting different faces, Fit Lego guy. I love you for saying that. I'm talking the
faces on stormtroopers are not going to cut it. I don't like. I know I don't need my.
I love his avatar,
but,
by the way. Ripped Lego guy.
Yes.
I don't know. All right, so you're hoping at least the 2. I think so too. I think it'd be insane if they made 2 and 2 exactly the same. But
okay, he did. There was a death trooper where like part of his helmet was ripped off. So I hope there is a new mold that has the helmet ripped off and you can see like the zombified mouth underneath. That'd be sick.
Yeah, for sure. What rebuild the Galaxy ship would you like to see for $50 August 1st?
I mean, I didn't watch the show, so I don't know.
All right. I haven't either. I tried. My daughter wouldn't do it, so I couldn't do it.
I have my own story.
All right. Yeah, that's true. You do. That episode you and I talked about, it's happening soon. So if you want to be part of that, let me know.
What? I don't. Text me later.
Talking to people behind it. Okay. Malmec, I expect you to not love that, but you'll give it a shot. Let's.
Well, if he doesn't have pupils, it's dumb. So you won't have pupils, so it's dumb.
Buildable chopper, too little, too late.
It is
$100, dude, and
it is a little behind the wave.
Will it scale with? Are they going to care about? All right, look, we've mentioned 3 different buildables tonight: Ewok, the Rogue One, K2SO, and now Chopper. Are we expecting any? I don't think K2SO will be. It doesn't have a chance to be. If it is at the rumored $90, it's not going to be as big as R2, which I think it would, or C3PO, which it would scale with. You would think.
For who?
Let me go back. K2SO is rumored at 90, which means it probably wouldn't scale with C3PO, which I would think in universe.
Yeah, there's no way.
Okay.
Chopper seems like at 100 it will.
And also the Ewok. That's what I didn't
The
mention.
Ewok probably would too, because he's about the same height. But there's no way K2SO will. But I also I feel like they're only trying with the original trilogy ones and anything else. You know what I mean?
In our year of getting 5 sets, that's so nice of them. I appreciate that. All right. Do you still hate the 4+ N1 Starfighter?
It's horrendous.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
The value is terrible, and it's going to sell so good. When it says 8,000 sold for December next year, you'll know why.
All right. Final 2, Ryan. U-Wing, Deidre, people want her. And/or K2. You're getting a K2. And then 2, it'd have to be OG Stormies. And that $80, is your concern the same as many? It's going to be too small?
Yeah, but I imagine it'll be better off than the ARC 170 was.
Yeah. I'm hearing those cockpit pieces are a son of a bitch. I haven't even done it yet, the stickers. Were they that bad?
Some people say just don't put them on, which honestly might be the move, but that's not how I do my collection, so I would never. But if that's how you're open to
Are you
doing it,
using a
then
tool to not get smudgies on yours, or are you just raw dogging it? What are we doing?
fingers,
Okay.
thumbprints, and all. You'll know it's mine. You can check it later.
All right.
Scan
And
into the
then,
database.
What a waste on the Plo Koon. It's a shame.
I don't get it. I don't understand why they're like dragging the Microfighter line through the mud at this point with like two ships that people would have far preferred to have full size versions of for two
Would have
different reasons.
FTJ'd too. Do you think it's because they would have been like, well, we have to make it 45 otherwise? Because I mean, the precedent's been set by Ahsoka. Like,
I don't think that's like okay, Jango Fett. Well, you could just make a Jango Fett Slave One Microfighter, and then he's not in a $300 set. Problems, you know what I mean? So I don't necessarily agree with that like line of thinking. Plo could have also been thrown in the Arc 170 as an extra figure very easily if they were feeling so generous or so, you know what I mean? But I don't understand it. Like the Microfighter line used to mean something. It used to be 6 a year. You'd get a ton. You'd have some real options out there every time. And now it's like one a year, and for 2 years in a row, that one choice, I'd say 3 years in a row, because the 2023 N1 Starfighter was another one that everyone was like, what the heck? This is so overpriced, because it was $16. So that one was like a reasonable one to make. I understand making that one, but like the Rex one is dumb because you should have just made a larger Rex's Y-Wing, that because everyone's been asking for that for 5 freaking years. Also, the figure just sucks anyway, so I don't really care, but whatever. And then the Plo Koon Starfighter, yeah, like obviously people want a full size Plo Koon Starfighter to go with their Arc 170, not a Microfighter. Like the choices here make absolutely no sense. I don't know who like decides this, but like it's mind boggling to like look at from an outsider's perspective, and like
there should be a couple interceptors every year. Like 45, we all think is a bit rich. At 35, whatever. I feel like they should just do a couple of them. It's pretty bonkers at this point. All right, last one. I swear we're done. Everyone's asking in the chat for you to give your UTAT thoughts, dude.
They all know what I think.
They're asking.
They're trolling. They're trolling. It's a set I've asked for years. Of course, I'm excited for it. What is there not to be excited for other than bad possible clone troopers that are going to suck if they decide not to give any effort? I mean, it's the same old, you know.
150, 813 pieces. Obviously, some girthy pieces.
It has to be.
Ryan, give your lineup. All right, let's do this. We're gonna bookmark this.
Hold on, I have one thing for the size of the build.
Go ahead.
The Onyx Cinder is 140. This is 150. The Onyx Cinder, like
1,300 pieces.
Yeah. Generally, though, is the same like shape as a UTAT. Like so if it's that size, it's good. That's good. I'm happy with that. Like just remold it a little bit in your head for this, you know, to fit the shape of a UTAT. But like, just generally, it's a long rectangle with a bunch more feet or repulsors or whatever on the bottom and a cannon on top and a little cockpit at the front. Like it's generally the same shape. And so if it's somehow that size with 68% of the pieces, good. But I don't know, man.
All right. Put it on record. And if you already know something, well, you don't have to tell us, but what figures would you want realistically with what you just said in terms of size and scale? And what do you think they'll actually do? And then we'll look this up in a few months.
I think I said in my video 7 years ago that my bare minimum for this set would be Ki-Adi-Mundi, Commander Bakara, and 3 Galactic Marines. And I said it again recently, and I'm sticking to it. That's the absolute bare minimum. Now, in the context of everything else and what all of these other sets would get as far as figures go, this should have more. This should have a ton more. For $150, 813 pieces, this should have like 5 Galactic Marines with the other 2 figures. You know, and it's not like they're going to make a Galactic Marine battle pack, so just give you 5 to begin and be done. Like 5 is a really, really good number to get in a set like that, at least compared to normal Star Wars stuff.
What if it was 5 Marines and that's it? Would you be cool with that?
No. You can't not have Bakara. This is like, and Kiadi Mundi is also integral. So I there's no like, to me there's
This
no
line up
compromise
here,
on the
Bakara,
1, 1,
Kiadi, and
3.
3 Marines feels right. I think
That's the bare minimum, which
Yeah.
means it's probably what it will be.
they've been hitting that C grade on a lot of stuff in terms of bare minimum to pass. Right?
All Out Brick says there better be Marines. In my opinion, like I know some people have asked me, like, do you think they'll do shock troopers like the video game? And realistically, no. Like the only reason a UTAT would exist, like one does not exist without the other, right? Like Lego would never make Galactic Marines and Bakara without a UTAT, and they would never make a UTAT without Galactic Marines and Bakara, because the only time they're ever seen ever in Star Wars is together. Like then again, this is the same group of people that said, quote, we never considered it when it comes to the crab droid being in the Revenge of the Sith ATT, and I believe crab droids were only ever on Utapau. So honestly, who knows? But like, if I'm being honest and like not overselling it to be funny, like Stephen A. Smith on First Take, there's going to be Galactic Marines and Commander Bakara, because there's no other way that the set could possibly. There's not another outcome. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is not possible.
Yeah, it is, but it's not. You know?
Yeah, right. All right. Well, Coop, who knows things, says there's definitely Marines, so everyone can rest easy. It's just like the next question is: will Ryan like the Marine? Will the fans like the Marines? Go ahead.
The studio says the ATT had a decent amount of figures. No, it did not. The ATT is a farce. You've been tricked like everyone else. Go on Lego.com right now. You tell me how many minifigures Lego.com says the ATT has, and you come back to me. We'll skip to the fun part. The answer is 5, not 8. Droids aren't minifigures.
Damn.
Lego does not call a droid a minifigure. It's a
so if they
complete
don't,
farce.
I mean, yeah.
Legally, it is not a minifigure.
All right. There you go. It looks nice on the box, though. You know what I mean? You got to give them credit for that.
Oh no, yeah. When they're all lined up there,
it's a good feeling when you're walking up to it. You know the
look.
feeling.
It's 8 characters. It's 8 minifigs. Like I get it, but also at the same time, I don't think like to them the cost is not the same. The value to them, to the consumers, probably the same though, but it's still not like the same, right? Like
you know what?
If you
go ahead, real quick, right? Like, I was gonna say it was funny. I forget what I was building, but I opened some bags and no, I know what it was. It was the flash speeder. I showed you. I got around to opening that one, and I totally forgot there were any battle droids in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I use a little tray, whatever, to lay my shit out, and I was like, I completely forgot. I'm like, what are these? Oh, it's just droids. Like they're just they factually blend in with parts.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if you've gotten that feeling before. But I like legit forgot they were in there because I was so focused on the Naboo guys and whatever the Gungan.
THF Studio. I agree. I agree with your opinion that droids are figs, droids are characters, but legally speaking, your opinion aside, if you go on Lego.com, they don't call them minifigures because they're not. A minifigure is like the standard, like has the legs, the torso. It's what Lego has like. What would you call it? Not copyrighted, but trademarked or whatever.
Yeah.
Like a minifigure is like literally a certain like thing, and a droid is not that. Even though it is to us, like, and it is, but it's not. I'm just saying. Basically, the point is, Lego would never replace those 3 droids with 3 more clone troopers. Does that make sense? The droids are there essentially as filler to make you feel like you're getting 8 figs worth of stuff, but you're really not. So, I don't think the clone pilot would be in the UTAT.
We were
but
talking
maybe.
dollars and cents earlier, Ryan. Let's break it down real quick. 3 battle droids versus 3 clone troopers. What's the cost differential?
Well, there's no printing on droids, so I would imagine it's
not droids. Oh, sorry, droids versus clones. Go. No printing.
I would imagine it's 5 to 1 or 10 to 1.
Okay.
I don't know. I know nothing about any of it, but
it's a big factor when you're scaling 100,000 sets or whatever.
But we're also talking about like the probable like literal difference is like it costs Lego 5 cents to make a droid and it costs them 15 cents to make a clone, or I guess in my numbers 50 cents or 25 cents.
Right.
And so like on the scale of a set, it's like literally nothing. But yeah. But I don't know. We'll never have numbers like that. So who knows?
Yeah. Well, maybe one day.
It's fun to. Hopefully one day something leaks like crazy. That would be fun, but I don't know. Like I don't know if that like Like my favorite just happened to actually yesterday. Call of Duty, like I guess if you go on their website, you can request your like Freedom of Information Act stuff. So you can go on and request that they send you all of the data that they've kept on you for like
Really?
5 years. And the most interesting thing to come out of it is that you can see your skill rating over time. So I submitted my request today. I'm hoping I get it back, but like another YouTuber,
Have you seen
Exclusive
others?
Ace.
Have you seen printed ones?
So
yet?
I've only seen the one from Exclusive Ace. He's like the guy that like broke it yesterday. And you can see like his skill rating over time for his last 500 games, and it's, you know, when he has a bunch of good games in a row, it goes up and then it goes down, and I'm like, I need to know what mine is. I need to compare mine to his because I know I'm better. but like I like that type of thing just came out of freaking nowhere, and I'm like praying like one day something crazy like that happens with Lego, because there's just so many interesting things to like know about that, and you know it has to like.
Oh yeah.
It's so fascinating to like any
Well, they're
hardcore
spending.
fan.
I mean, one of the things is you know about CAC and customer acquisition cost and all that stuff. It's definitely
No,
gone.
not
up.
Clone Army Customs.
No, not that CAC.
CAC is Clone Army Customs. You got wrong audience.
No, it's not the right. No, but I mean, like CAC, customer acquisition costs. There's a couple, whatever, CPA, cost per acquisition. That's definitely gone up. Like Lego, and I know this because even when I wasn't in it, it wasn't as visible as it is now. I mean, obviously they're spending money on ads and stuff more than they have now. So I mean, that's definitely, you know, driven costs up, in addition to whatever you want to call it, greed, popularity, capital, you know, capitalism, whatever. They're definitely, you know, their outlay is definitely higher than it was in years past, in my opinion. Like they're much more visible, spending a lot more. So that's going to drive some of these other things up. You don't do one video without saying inflation. We all know about that. So I don't know. It'd just be curious to see, to your point, like what the true costs are and the rationalization for some of these leaps. But yeah, man, I was out, did it differently than you probably did on January 1st. Was that your first time to the store? Did you go to Jan 1st at all?
I haven't been in like 2 months, probably longer. I don't know.
For this Marvel set was your one and only Jan 1 personal. Well, it's for the business.
Well, I bought the Tumblr. I bought all the Star Wars sets. I bought the Spider-Man cafe. I bought some. This was the only thing I bought at the store just because I was there today and I saw it and I was like, I'll buy that.
You got that stuff early, or you got it like at Targs and stuff? The other
all the other stuff I got before, yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. You bought the Spider-Man $50 set?
Yeah, I saw it at Target like the day before Christmas or 2 days before Christmas, and then I still haven't done anything with it.
That was my one stupid, like, makes no sense. Went ahead and bought. I just think it's a heater set. I like the cop car. So
yeah.
All right, brother. Thanks so much for your time. We're gonna go ahead and wrap, guys. I know it's not a 5-6 hour masterpiece, but you know, people have lives and jobs and things to do. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll continue to talk leaks all year long. Welcome to 2025, and yeah,
Black Pearl.
I think Ryan's stuck around for some endings. It's probably been a while since you've been at the end of the show, but Black Pearl's gonna be a heater.
Is it different now? Oh.
It's the OG. You missed the butt song. I know it's your favorite. Huge shout out to all of tonight's guests. Ryan, I don't know if you saw, but Steve Trek showed up to defend Star Trek to Star Wars fans. If you haven't seen that bit, it's
Steve Reynolds.
Nope, Steve Trek is his name. Steve Trek. He showed up out of nowhere. He's a fan of Star Trek. Really started putting down Star Wars fans.
Oh yeah.
This is one of his quotes from tonight. He also,
I mean, many of them are.
And then he also said he did admit that Star Wars fans are more attractive than Star Trek fans, which was to me
Also probably true.
It's a very important point. You know him very well. I'll text you after.
Cooper just spoiled it.
It was you know who it is. But yeah, guys, great show. We'll see you right here next week. Peace. Brian, closing thoughts?
I had a thing, and then this. Oh, what you said. My thoughts on Star Trek of like I've never watched it and I don't care about it, is pretty much on point.
I knew you'd say that.
I'm just glad it's not a full-fledged theme because I don't want anything to compete with Star Wars.
There you go. Peace.